Yo, 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 here we go, go with the grand final for the AMG Cup Mega Draft Edition. It's me, your friend Rich Slayton, and I am, of course, joined by one of the greats, and maybe some more greats today. Jeba's on the line. Jeba's, I'm going to get us right over to the draft board because they started the game a couple minutes early. Let's just go ahead and see who's picking, and it's going to be Mohamed Light with the first pick here against Vitor. Jebas, this has been such a fun competition. Now we're down to our final 8 for this $15,000 prize pool with $7,500 for first place.
Hey, what's going on, Rich? Yeah, I was watching yesterday, and it's been very fun to watch.
It's been really, really fun to watch, and of course, we're really excited to be here. Thanks, of course, to Supercell for sponsoring this event and AMG for helping make this happen, the AMG Cup. And as you guys all know, Mega Draft is my absolute favorite mode. I've been doing so much of it on the channel. It's so crazy to watch the picking process and how these people go back and forth trying to get the advantage against the other players. And I gotta say, there's some debate as to what's the most skilled mode in Clash Royale. And I'll step away from that debate for a second, Jebas. You and I were talking before, and it's forget whether it's the most skilled mode. And I personally kind of feel that maybe it is not enough data yet, but we've been talking about a different way to play Clash Royale for such a long time, and this feels like the most different way to play this game that we've ever seen.
Yeah, because when you're used to playing duels or ladder, you already know most of the matchups and how things will work during the game, and here you have no clue how the matchup will turn out because none of the decks are actually meta, so that's the most fun part of this game mode for me.
It's very, very fun just seeing people try to adapt to these cards on the fly, try to figure out what the heck is going on right as it's happening in front of them. It's super duper exciting. Again, they're playing decks they've literally never played before. They're trying to craft from a mini meta. And there's also this question of the processing, right? How quickly can somebody look at the 36 cards on the board and figure out what's going on? It's certainly not easy to do. And speaking of not easy, it's not easy to make your way through this bracket. Our first matchup today is going to be Mohamed Light, who beat Adrian Piedra yesterday, up against your very good friend, countryman, and at one time teammate Vitor, who took out Wallace yesterday as well. Lucas got past Airsurfer and now out of the frying pan, maybe into the fire here against Sandbox. On the other side of our bracket, former world champion from 2020, Ruben, goes against 2019 world champion Surgical Goblin. That's a battle of titans, a battle of legends. And then Ian77, the Hog Master, goes up against the number 3 finisher from our world finals this last year in Samuel Bassotto. Jeb, as we come back to this question all the time, who stops Mo at this point, right? Mo versus Vitor is going to be a challenge. Vitor certainly is capable, but you have to pick Mo in that one. The real question is, if Mo gets past the semifinal, who on the right-hand side of the bracket between Reuben, Surgical Goblin, Ian, and Samuel would have the best chance of winning?
For example, if they were all on their primes, on the left side, I would pick Lucas, but right now, he's been a bit off. He's been on vacation, so he's not at his absolute best. So I don't know. From the right side, I feel like it's gonna be a dark horse pick in a way. Ian is my pick because every time I see Ian facing against Mo, Ian has some success against him. The other ones, I don't see them beating Mo in a best of 3, or is the grand finals best of 5 or best of 3?
I think it's still best of 3, but I'll go ahead and take a look at the rule book and double confirm that one.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe Samuel can. He's a great player. Maybe he also has a good chance. I don't know, but for me, it's Ian.
All right, here we go. Looking at the draft board, seeing Graveyard, seeing RG, Giant, Goblin Giant, Mo with the first pick. Very different. Mo tends to pick Log as his first pick. He went with Poison. Why do you think he's picking Poison to open up the game?
He also loves that spell. I feel like he decided to pick Poison just because it's the better spell from what I see from the cards there. Now he's gonna probably pick Miner. Vitor obviously picking the second best spell out there.
And Vitor picking his champion early, going with Monk. No AQ on the board, so not picking it to counter. Just looking at the other two options in Mighty Miner, and not a lot of not the best Mighty Miner synergies out here. And obviously decided not to go with Skeleton King. Mo now going Inferno Dragon, which is nice because Inferno Dragon pretty much directly counters that Monk because that beam is not a ranged attack. So good response from Mo here.
I feel like he also picked Poison, so he had better. So he had some win conditions open for him. For example, Graveyard Miner. I feel like he might be also trying to go Graveyard, but I don't know. Graveyard, for example, Graveyard and some other win conditions are hard to pick on this game mode because of the cards you need to get around them. I don't know if you saw yesterday, Vitor picked a Graveyard deck, but it wasn't that great and he lost against Wallace.
That was a close one here. Ice Spirit picked up for Vitor, so keeping the cycle pretty low right now. There's no skeletons on the board, no goblins on the board. So the two common picks for a cycle deck, both
Miner.
not in. There you go, Mo picking Miner. No NATO, so nicely picked here for Mo.
I feel like if he wanted to get some supports and spells before the mine this time around, because he usually picks Miner first, remember?
Yeah, lots of Miner first for Mo, lots of Log first for Mo. Co-caster, by the way,
Great.
for those of you asking, and yeah, that is a. I'll get to that in 1 second. The co-caster is Jebus, longtime coach analyst, and of course part of the World Champion squad with Mo for 2022. Go ahead, Jeb, talking about that Skeleton King.
I don't know if you know, but Skeleton King is probably the best champion against Monk, so I feel like he picked also because of that. Even though Vitor has logs, so let's see. Vitor goes Hog Rider.
Hog Rider, interesting choice here, and that's actually nice from a building standpoint. It kind of puts Mo in an interesting spot, right? Because his only options for buildings with any sort of efficacy are, and there he goes, picks the Tombstone. So no EQ, but the Fireball and Log both can make it a little bit harder for that Tombstone to do its job, and of course with no NATO. As a note here for everyone watching, the only card that is banned in this competition is the Pump, and that's because the Pump, unlike in the normal gameplay of Clash Royale, can appear in your starting hand in this game mode. It wasn't accounted for, so a decision was made to ban Pump from this competition.
I feel like the Tombstone is still gonna do a great job, even though he has Log. And also, I don't know why Vitor picked Hog Rider as his main win condition, since he has a building and Snowball, but now he picked 3 Musketeers. That's a very interesting deck pick.
Yeah. Wow. 3M, Hog, and then Lumberjack. Very curious.
If you see Mo's deck, it doesn't have a lot of answers to 3M. It's gonna be interesting, actually.
So here
Mini
we go.
P.E.K.K.A.
Mini P.E.K.K.A, the final pick. 3M will be a challenge here with the Poison Snowball. We'll see
The
if...
Mini P.E.K.K.A.
Go
The
ahead.
Mini P.E.K.K.A wasn't a bad pick because it counters the 2M and he also counters the Hog.
And the Monk High will go back to the Miner, but Mo with a really good recognition early on. No NATO. Go ahead and start varying position right out the gate.
Exactly.
And there we see the perfect timing on that Mini P.E.K.K.A to counter the Hog Rider. So really solid pick. Will work in 2 different ways. Poison to
Amazing
get...
push by Mohamed.
I mean, the nice part there, you saw how much the other 2 far Musketeers were still stuck in the poison because of the push overall. And man, that was an early bit of damage. Musketeers will do nothing. And here we go, first minute away, and all Vitor can do is kind of nod a little bit because Mo just played, as you expect, the first minute of gameplay absolutely perfect.
Here you can also see how players adapt and think quickly, because Mo knows Vitor's 8 cards, so he knew once after Monk was out of his hand, he only had, for example, Lumberjack to defend. That's why he went Skeleton King in front of the Mini P.E.K.K.A, and Vitor, the only chance he had to save his tower was to play 3M. That was a very good recognition of Vitor's cycle.
Monk to the left-hand side. Skeleton King to the right-hand lane. Vitor does have Log Fireball, but not going to be spell cycling to get his way back into this one. Needs to get some serious connections. The 3M high, and once again, one of them will escape the poison, but after a couple of ticks. And Vitor, nothing really to put in front of the Musketeer on the right-hand side. Mo decides to go ahead and eat those musky shots and instead go hard on the left-hand lane. Miner to the back, Mini P.E.K.K.A to the front. Ice Spirit nicely controls against that Mini P.E.K.K.A, but still putting a lot of pressure on. Vitor recognizing low elixir. Mo still picking it up with the Tombstone. Can this Hog get away? And it should get one shot here, just barely does. 2080 on the right-hand side, but still that 572 for Vitor. Man, Mo way ahead as we go into the final 30-ish of regulation.
Yeah, and it might be a game already. I don't see if Vitor can make it.
We just kind of lost your audio there. It's very, very low.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how can Vitor come back from this since Mo has Snowball, Mini P.E.K.K.A, and a building right now.
And little Poison Snowball will be more than sufficient to finish this thing off. Not necessary at all. Mo takes game number 1, and Vitor has to regroup. Now, for those of you watching Mega Draft for the first time, we did a few weeks of competition on this channel here with some mini 4-person brackets, and over that time kind of figured out that the best methodology was that the losing player picks first in the next game, because first you get first pick and you get last pick. So Vitor will pick first in the next game. And the guy who helped me come up with that rule, who's going to join us making a 3-man booth today. And you want to talk about coaching ability. Not only do we have Jebas, the world champion coach from this last year, we have his counterpart, the other man who has led people to glory many times, and that's Julesy, who, of course, you guys both know each other very well, formerly being teammates, and, of course, the last couple of years being rivals. Jules, I know it's like 4 in the morning or something in Vietnam right now. Very excited to have you here, and how pumped are you to see Mega Draft on this scale?
I'm very excited, Rich. Thank you so much for having me on, and good to see you again, Jebas. I'm very excited. We'll first have a proper big Mega Draft competition, so it's a privilege to be casting it.
So let's just take a look at the board here real quick. Poison the first pick. We see Lightning Fireball, Delivery Snowball, Zap as spells. No Log here as spells. And a rarity, no Miner on this one. So Jebas, as you being Mo's coach this last year, I'll go to you. No surprises here with the Goblins, the first pick. Looking at the board, what direction do you envision Mo going?
Royal Hogs or 3 Musketeers for me. That's what he loves.
So we'll see if he goes one of those 2 directions. Fireball is an option here for buildings. Furnace maybe for the Royal Hogs. On the other side of things, we have Vitor. And with the Monk pick, you know, I'm looking at this, Jules, and it doesn't seem like, other than maybe Inferno Tower, what are the solid counters for Monk here?
There isn't really any solid counters except mini tanks. All of the air troops are ranged, so Vitor's really going to struggle to counter Monk here.
Yeah, Vitor goes Skeleton King instantly because that's one of the best counters, I guess you could say, to Monk.
So Poison Zap, Skelly King so far for Vitor. Drill potentially an option. Graveyard also on there as well. Keep in mind, Poison in the hand of Vitor means not in the hand of Mo here, but a nice hedge against that with the Mother Witch pick by Mohamed Light. Also nicely counters against our Skeleton King.
So I see a comment saying Mo loves Monk in these draft battles. Seems like he picks it whenever it's available. Yeah, Monk is probably the best champion in draft. It counters 2 of the other best champions, and it can often take off a quarter of the board.
So now going into our next pick for Vitor, and no win condition picked yet. I mean, definitely, and now you see he has to make an adjustment. Maybe he was leaning towards the Graveyard. Mother Witch was the pick, and you see Mo's reaction to that, to the Wall Breakers pick here. What does, is this Drill Wall Breakers coming up, Jules?
Yeah, I know Vitor will probably pick it. Sorry, Jules.
Well, no, you're right. I mean, it kind of has to be draw at this point, unless he's going for some kind of weird Princess, Goblin Gang, Furnace, Fam deck.
Yeah. Also, Vitor loves bait decks. I don't know if you saw yesterday, Rich.
Oh yeah,
he also
for sure
picked one or 2.
So, Jebas, what's the methodology here for Mo to counter Drill Wall Breakers now, right? I mean, Now we see the
Ghost.
Go ahead.
He goes Ghost here because he kind of has to. The only a very good thing that he will have is that Vitor doesn't have the Fireball, so I think Mother Witch will get a lot of value here, right?
Yes.
Princess, good pick as well.
It'll be interesting to see if Vitor follows through with the full spam deck, giving more Mother Witch value, or whether he's going to try and avoid it from now.
And the Goblin Cage pick, maybe looking at the remaining win conditions and feeling like he needs some control in the middle, is Vitor. And I see Peck. I don't get is it the game choosing for them? That's the point. No, they are choosing their own cards. There's a visual glitch that makes it always go to 15 seconds when we're spectating, but they are picking all their own cards. In fact, this challenge is currently in your game right now. You can play the Mega Draft Challenge. Lots of great rewards there. You can play 8 rounds, and there's no losses in the challenge. You can try out and learn. I've done it twice so far. I went 8-0 in one, and I'm 6-1 in the other, having learned a lot from talking to these two guys and watching these draft battles. So, no, they are making their own picks from this mini pool of 36 cards, which makes it really hard to quickly figure out a new meta, and there you go. Great conversation earlier on. Jeba's picking the Royal Hogs as the choice for Mo. Now, looking at our last pick here for Vitor.
Firecracker, surely.
Let's see, is it the Firecracker? No real way to get to it besides the
Oh,
Fireball.
wow.
And no, it's the Electro Giant.
Yes,
and look
very
at
smart
Mo.
pick.
Look at Mo. He was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
ooh.
yeah.
And
I
just
just
to
want
get us all, let me get us all
I
synced here
just
real
wanna
quick,
say-
Jebas. I'm at 247, 46, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just to help us all get synced there, because we are casting from Portugal, Vietnam, and Texas. So we are all over the world right now with this cast. And Jeba's maybe trying to bet that Mother Witch wasn't in the starting hand, and there's Mother Witch, so that's a whole lot of piggies going the opposite direction.
Well,
Yeah.
on the last game, Mo picked Mini P.E.K.K.A as the last card, and it was the most interesting one. And here Vitor also last pick picks Sea Giants. Let's see if.
Yeah.
And Jebas, if you could try to adjust your mic up just a little bit to...
Okay, sorry, sir.
Yeah.
How about now?
There you go. Much
Okay.
better.
Yeah, it was a very good pick since he doesn't have any buildings.
So,
I think Monk
go
is
ahead.
going to be a really good defense against Sea Giant here, especially alongside Princess. I mean, the knockback is just huge. I don't even think he needs a building here.
You know, I've never actually seen... I don't think I've seen Monk versus E-Giant, or I can't think of seeing Monk versus E-Giant. Does the Monk reflect the E-Giant zaps?
No.
No.
But yeah, well, thanks to the knockback, the Monk can completely counter an RG. So it's also a very good tool against E-Giant.
Multi-country, and as Crafter is saying in the chat, multi-continent commentating. Yep, we have a fully international crew here for you
Yeah,
today.
triple continent setup.
Royal Ghost will go over to the Goblin Cage as we are just 15 seconds away from double Elixir. Jebas, is the advantage in double for the Electro Giant here?
Yeah, obviously, but Mo already got a lot of damage, so it's gonna be tough.
That's
You know,
twice
I
now.
think I would have liked to see a Firecracker pick from Vitor last. It would help a lot on defense, and it synergizes really well with Wall Breakers and Drill on offense.
Look at the damage already with one E-Giant push. Wow.
That's very significant. Does get the Princess off as well. 41 seconds left, and Vitor has put us back a little bit, 1571 to 1122. And Ghost, again, not picked up, has to drop E-Giant to make sure that does not connect.
Just some juicy poison value if you can get back to it though.
Yeah, I think he needs to get one more. Wall breakers down. There's the poison. Does
He
not
hasn't played Drill yet. I feel like once he plays Drill and E-Giant at the same time, it's gonna be a lot of damage as well.
Yeah.
So here we go. Sudden death overtime.
Oh.
Lead for our defending world champion. And here we go. Pigs in, Cage out of cycle. Drill played defensively. And that's going to save what would have been a significant amount of damage here. But still, you have the Ghost doing a little bit more damage and the Monk fairly alive, Mother Witch behind. And the pressure continues to mount, although Mo getting very low on Elixir here.
Well, yeah, Mo getting a lot of value out of his princess there. Probably about 8 elixir worth of value, so now he's in a very good position. He's up elixir, he's up damage, and he's looking good going into triple elixir.
His Mother Witch and his Princess are being the MVP right now.
Yeah.
Drill does get there in time. Mo trying to get that fireball off. Vitor reading that sequence pretty perfectly. And now setting up just a little bit of pressure on the right-hand side from way in the back. And that's the fear right here, guys, is that we've seen this a few times now where Vitor's maybe doesn't have the ability, maybe in triple he'll be able to do it, but trying to get drills offensively when he feels like he needs those to hedge against these Royal Hog pushes.
Yeah.
This is
Ooh,
interesting.
going in a risky fireball there.
Very aggressive
wow.
fireball.
Whoa.
Electro Giant in, drill on.
Oh.
Will the fireball get there in
Calculated.
time? And it does! Mohamed Light, as you said, a little risky, but knew he could get back around very quickly and does take the win here in game number 2. Clean sweep. Mohamed Light will go on, and as the question always is, how do you stop them? And Jules, I asked this question of Jebba's earlier on, and I'll ask the question over to you. Who has the best chances of stopping Mo, especially if he makes it through either Sandbox or Lucas in the semifinal?
Well, to be honest, he's easily the favourite. I mean, like I've been saying before, after a year of working with Jebbas, I mean, your understanding of the game is just incredible. And obviously, his skill shown as a world champion makes him pretty much unstoppable in these kind of modes. I'd say his main competitor would probably be Lucas. Like I've said a lot of times before, I think he's a very smart player. He understands the game well, and obviously he's second or third after Mohamed in terms of skill in the whole world.
And here we go, taking a look at the final sequences here. You see very, very low, that 467 on the left-hand tower of Vitor. But Vitor makes it really close here. He gets the E-Giant down, Fireball plus Snowball, so a full 6 elixir spend. And then the poison coming in, and just the, again, back to Fireball, the ability, and that right there is all about that. I believe we have, let me just double check to make sure I'm not speaking out of pocket here. When we get to, I believe that was all about the, yeah, there we go. Monk is down, and that's the 3-card cycle in effect there, boys. He gets the Monk, plays Fireball, Snowball, and then the Goblins make it, the Goblins and Ghosts just to slow stuff down, back to Fireball again, boom. So really beautiful play overall there by Mohamed Light, perfectly balancing that 3-card cycle. And to answer everyone who the co-host is, we have both Julesy and Jebbas, the 2 top coaches, and of course Jebbas getting the world champion coach for Mohamed Light this last year, Julesy getting 2nd place in 2021 with Mohamed Light, and then another phenomenal 2nd place performance this year with Morton as well. It's Jules, I know it's painful, but it's also hard not to be like, that is. It is still a phenomenal and unbelievable thing to do in back-to-back years.
Yes.
So I have to give you your flowers, even if the flowers have some thorns on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone who's watching here, I see right now about 5,500 of you, over 5,000 of you watching. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Rich Slayton, caster for Clash Royale League. Really excited. We've been doing these Mega Draft tournaments all month, and now we get this big one, $15,000 prize pool supported by Supercell and AMG Aftershock Media Group coming together to make the AMG Cup Mega Draft Edition one of the many community events, and we're really happy to have the support for it. So thanks for being here. And as long as you're here, we're on that road to 100K, so if you hit that sub button, help me on that journey, please, as we jump into Lucas up against Sandbox. And this is a really, really fun matchup. And Jules, you've said a lot that you think that Lucas has one of the best minds in all of Clash Royale.
Well, yeah, as he proved, and as he never shuts up about, in CRL 2021, he did win 2 monthly finals in a row without an analyst. So he is very good at working things out himself. So Sandbox opening up with Goblins, I really like that pick. There's no log, no barbed arrow on the board, so you'd be forced to go with arrows to counter Goblins.
And to answer Icy Breeze, yes, this is live gameplay. I'm even able to pull up your chat and throw it on the screen and respond to that. So yes, we are absolutely live. If you happen to have these guys on your friends list, you can watch it inside the app. Otherwise, here's the place for it right here on youtube.com/RichSlayton. So going pretty quick cycle here. And a card we don't often see picked in Mega Draft, the Magic Archer, picked up by Sandbox.
There's
I really
Fireball.
like. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I already spoken.
There's no fireball or poison, so I think it was a good deck, good card pick.
Yeah, and there's no log to be comboed with the EQ as well, so the only way to kill it is with a lightning.
So drill monk, and that's the big question here. I mean, with the Magic Archer already the pick, does that lean Sandbox towards picking a Skelly King as his champion, Jules?
Wow, Rich the Predict God.
Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! Brilliant.
We spent too much time casting Mega Draft. I think.
I also feel like Lucas picked Monk, so Sandbox couldn't pick Queen just because it's a very annoying card.
Yeah.
And you know what? I just want to say that I've been casting Clash Royale for quite a long time, but the last couple of years, especially talking with the two of you, and I've spent a lot of time talking with both of you guys about draft, about dual mode, about draft mode, all this stuff. I definitely feel like I've learned more in the last couple of years than in the previous, just by the real deep deep dives that we do, talking about these modes. And hey, it paid off. I predicted a Skelly King once.
Ooh, go Rich. But yeah, as I was saying, Monk is one of the strongest picks. Lucas picking Monk early, then he takes Queen off the board, 3 Muskies off the board, Minion Horde, Xe, Skelly Drags. So yeah, for me it's one of the strongest picks in draft alongside Log and Poison.
Dakota Blunt with the perfect comment. This isn't live, it's just an extremely well-made pre-recording. He's good at guessing that people would comment. Yeah, I've learned so much about predicting, I can predict comments in the future for a pre-recorded show. So Loon coming out here, and that actually puts Sandbox in kind of a tricky position. What's the best pick here? He already has Bomb Tower.
It has to be, Tesla or Rascals, But then Monk's going to get really good value against all of Sandbox's defensive air troops. So really nice Loon plus Monk pick by Lucas.
So here we go. Loon Drill with the Skelly Dragons. The Mega Knight Fisherman, really interesting combo here.
When I saw Lucas picking Fisherman and Monk, I was also thinking of some Mega Knight something, and he actually went with the Mega Knight balloonless cards. I think he already had that planned as well.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the mind games about trying to block the Monk at the bridge so he can safely play Rascals in the balloon. But the hard thing about Monk is that you want to block him at the bridge to stop receiving any damage and to stop the reflect, but he keeps on knocking back troops. So whatever you do, if you play something at the bridge, he ends up on your side of the arena anyway.
So here we go, first minute of gameplay away. No damage so far. Lucas, and here we go, that'll reflect both on the Magic Archer, and that's some really nice Monk value, getting the Magic Archer off the board, plus some damage to the tower, and easy King Tower activation here for Lucas. Now here's my next question, because this feels like it's going to be played a lot at the bridge. You can fully counter a Hog Rider with a Fisherman played high enough, but how dangerous is that attempting for Lucas with Goblins and the Rascals both capable of being played high to distract that move?
I think Lucas, being a top 3 RG player in the world, he should have his defenses in the bag. But it'll be interesting to see whether Sandbox can force the mistakes out with good pressure.
And
Rich, you can also play a Spirit to counter the Fisherman, for example. It's only 1 elixir instead of playing Rascals.
The Electro Spirit can fully counter a Hog Rider?
No. I mean, you can hog and block the Fisherman with a Spirit.
Oh,
you were
yes,
saying
yes.
with the Rascals, but it's better with a Spirit.
But yeah, Lucas's answers to Hog are really nice. I mean, he's got the Monk knockback, he's got Fisherman, he's got Drill, he's got Mega Knight, and Skelly Drags, which aren't going to provide much good lightning value.
Not to mention the Snowball as well. And to answer a couple questions in the chat, first of all, where is Riley? Riley's not in this competition, but if you want to see Riley play some Mega Draft, there's a BO5 that I released just a couple days ago between Ian and Riley playing Mega Draft on this channel. So you can go ahead and check that out in the videos. But of course, you will see his often friend and counterpart and rival Ian in this competition later today. Here we go into our final 30 seconds, and again, the numbers are pretty close here. 27.34 top left for Lucas, 27.93 bottom right for Sandbox, and both around 2,900 on the opposite 2 corners here. And we're talking about all these counters that Lucas has for Hog Rider. With that being said, what is the best path for Sandbox to try to get damage and win here? Is it going to be trying to find somebody to get Magic Archer value, or does the Monk shut that down too?
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be what he's been doing so far, stacking magic archers and keeping the pressure up. So Lucas, on paper, has a counter, but his deck cycle is actually pretty awkward due to having 2 win conditions.
And also Sandbox already activated the King Tower in the beginning. I don't know how he played the E-Spirit, Lucas, but that was very good for Sandbox.
There we go. Magic Archer will come out. Lightning does get its job done. Still some reflection in, but prevents quite a lot of damage. And now Hog Rider in front of the Magic Archer. Goblin's right behind that. Magic Archer, though, not quite close enough. Stops that Magic Archer far enough away with the Mega Knight being played pretty much perfectly as a counter. And we're seeing both these. You know, you talked about Lucas taking some time off. He has been absolutely crisp so far in this competition.
Yeah, I feel like Lucas here needs to make a really big push. What do you think, Jules? You like a massive one from the back? Because these small ones are easy to defend.
Well, yeah, I agree, but it's hard for him to build up a big push, really. I mean, the only kind of proper support troop he has is Skelly Dregs. But yeah, in triple, if he can get a Mega Knight drill and balloon push going, that'd be really nice.
He's gonna try to do it now, I think, with the monk on the
yeah.
So Lightning gets onto the Fish Boy. Takes the Monk down pretty significantly. Monk will get its reflection in on the Rascal Girls. Mega Knight working on the right-hand side. Magic Archer not able to get its lineup once again. So far, the secondary win condition here has not done exactly what's been desired. Drill in very deep. That balloon is still staying very healthy. Sandbox is going to need to find some way to put enough DPS on this thing and just barely stops the damage. But with the snowball coming in, that next balloon picked up by the bomb tower. Here we go. Final 8 seconds. 24-17, 18:59. No real way through here. Hog can't do it, and that would have been a momentous Hog shot. Doesn't happen. Instead, we get game number 1 winning for Lucas. Means Sandbox will stay in the first pick position here. As, again, reminder for those of you joining us at over 8,000 viewers, the loser of the game of game 1 picks in game 2 and so on for game 3 as well. So there you go. And man, that was an interesting game 1. It did feel like, you know, this is an interesting. The picking here is so hard, and we find things out as the gameplay goes on. But it did feel like this matchup-wise felt pretty lopsided. Was there a real path to victory there for Sandbox, Jules, or was the picking on Lucas's side just a little bit too fresh?
Well, yeah, it was very nice picks by Lucas, and Sandbox did really well throughout the whole game to keep up the pressure because he knows the only way he loses is Lucas getting a huge push together. But Lucas's defense, as you were saying, was just too crisp, and he didn't let Sandbox through.
Taking a look at the replay here, final 30 seconds, and you see it was actually pretty close. You see 2,400 to 2,400, but this is where it all kind of went wrong. And you see the drill come in and just can't quite get the DPS on that balloon. And so even though the balloon didn't actually connect here, the death damage is sufficient to create just enough of a gap that Lucas not able to get back. You see the Hog Rider going opposite direction. Mega Knights were absolutely perfect on the side of Lucas throughout the day, and he's able to shut that one down. So a really exciting ending here for this one. And as we go into game number 2, let's go and take a look at our board. And Jules, first thoughts when you look at the board that we see here?
Well, Arrows obviously looking like a good spell. Yep, Lucas picks up already, Arrows and Dark Goblin. And now Sandbox has literally no way to kill Dark Goblin except by going EQ plus freeze, which definitely isn't optimal. So Lucas can continue to pick up cards like that, like Bats, Bomber, and Dark Goblin that he already has, and Sandbox is really going to struggle to deal with them.
It was an interesting card pick, the Mighty Miner. I don't know what he's trying to go for here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm looking at the different win conditions, and it's like the Mighty Miner doesn't stop a lot of them, right? I mean, not anything that you're likely to take. Okay, so you have Royal Giant, you can Mighty Miner on RG, but Hog, Royal Hogs, the Ram Rider. There's just not a lot of stuff that you really see Mighty Miner going to work on. And again, this is what we've been talking about, is who's been playing a lot of Mega Draft and who's not been playing a lot of Mega Draft. And you guys know Lucas has been playing a ton of this game mode, both in my competitions and just with you guys. I'm curious about how much Sandbox is playing this.
He actually practices before as well. Yeah, for example, yesterday he was practicing with Vitor, and today they were in call as well, practicing before the tournament. So
Well, I mean, I think every single pro has received a mega draft request from me at one point. So all of them have had some practice.
Even I got one, so yeah.
Yeah, really nice bats pick from Lucas. I mean, 0 spirits on the board, no snowball, no zap. So bat's going to get a lot of value here. Yeah.
Maybe skeleton dragons from Sandbox could be something, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I really like Skilly Drags because it forces Sandbox to go with delivery.
Lucas stole it.
Or Witch. Yeah, there it is.
And Witch is going to be an interesting play here because it's the most, with that rocket, you really don't want to be playing that Witch behind tower. So trying to build, you have to be playing that up high most of the time. Of course,
it's an easy.
His big counter. That's his big counter play. So unlikely he'll be playing it behind tower very often.
But I think it's an easy Golden Knight now for Lucas. One of the best counters in the game to Witch.
Or Valkyrie, yeah.
Yeah, but he's going to struggle to get through Witch without a
what do you
Golden
think
Knight. So.
What do you think he's going to pick as win condition? Hog?
Could be Hog. Could just be a Skelly Barrel. Yeah, Ram Rider.
Yeah, or Ram Rider.
Yeah, recognizing there's no knockback on the board as well. Really nice for Lucas, so Ram Rider's going to do well on offense.
Only the Mighty Miner Ball.
Yeah.
So does, I mean, looking here at trying to figure out, there's no other real air situation other than maybe having on minions to try to contend with some of that air, but that would be brutal against the arrows.
Yeah.
So just really picked into a bad spot, and that shows just how important that first pick is. Not picking, either picking Dart Goblin or arrows as first pick would have been made a completely different draft happen. Instead, going Mighty Miner as pick number 1 just opened that door, and from then on, it seemed like Lucas just picked himself into a completely brilliant position.
Yeah, I think if you're picking first, then arrows was the optimal pick in that draft.
Yeah, exactly. So you take out some stuff from the board.
Ram Rider, Bats, Golden Knight. Ram Rider will get a connection on the right-hand side, just a small one. And first, so 45 away, lead for Lucas.
In terms of win conditions, Sandbox has kind of a slight matchup here. There's not really any good RG responses for Lucas, and he hasn't got ideal Piggy's responses. But having 2 win conditions and some weird spells against Lucas's troops, I think Sandbox's cycle is really going to suffer. So I'm saying this matchup goes to Lucas.
Bomb tower, because you can't really cycle Bomb Tower freely unless you
Yes, exactly.
And I was laughing seeing Lucas finally figure out that his headphones could get his hair out of his face.
Technology is amazing.
But the call says, say someone get this guy a hair tie, but figures out how to use his headphones correctly and gets a nice connection right after that. And again, you talked about it, Ram Rider, no knockback, so basically it's Bomb Tower or nothing for that Ram Rider. Whale goes to the left-hand side, Skeletons pick it up, 2 shots, or just 1 shot from the RG for Sandbox. And a wonderful Golden Knight connection supported by the Bats. Bats get onto the Mighty Miner instead, though. Lucas still with the lead.
Yeah, forcing out another bomb tower. So Sandbox still up in Elixir. I think this could actually be decent for Sandbox in triple Elixir. Once Golden Knight is out, which can get a lot of value, and Lucas doesn't really have any good answers to RG and Pigs.
Lead for Sandbox. Ram Rider will still connect. Nice attempt. So you talked about no knockback, but it's the Mighty Miner trying to put the Ram Rider off of its run. Doesn't quite get it in the right direction, but still does show the ability to disrupt slightly.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Lucas's micro will end up winning him this game. He just plays too perfectly with these cycle cards.
Ram Rider in on the left-hand lane here for Lucas. Bomb Tower not available, and man, it seems like this Bomb Tower is just in a funky place cycle-wise. Jebus, what can Sandbox do to try to get this Bomb Tower down when he needs it?
I don't know, because his cycle is so awkward.
Yeah.
Jebus, you got to keep that mic near your face.
Sorry. Do you think he should go Royal Giant Hoggies at some point? That could be hard to defend, but he doesn't really have a chance to do it.
Yeah, so that in triple, that'll be his best chance. He'll have to force Lucas. I mean, I think Lucas can still defend it of like a rocket bat, but I would like to see some split hoggies with some RG and Ghost and Mighty Mine lane switches.
And there you go. The lead now temporarily for Sandbox, who's leaking just a little bit here. Bar barrel for that Dark Goblin on the left will take a shot. Gives the lead back up just barely, but 1338 to 1325. Let's see if this ability gets involved, and yes, it will to clear some of that up. The Witch behind. This is really looking kind of nice here. The 2 shots coming in, 562. This is a ton of weight, though. Bomb tower to the right to pick it up. Ram Rider's going to go and do a lot of damage on the left-hand side, and 1 Skelly Dragon does stay alive. Bats working on the left-hand lane.
Wow.
Arrows trying to make room for the Dark Goblin. Doesn't happen. 562 to 416. Lucas has options in both lanes. And one of those options is a rocket, which will completely do the job. And that's a GG. Well played by Lucas.
Yeah, really well played there by Lucas. Great defense. I thought Sandbox had him at one point with a really nice Mighty Mine lane switch, but as I said, Lucas's micro was just too good. Ended up getting 4 Skelly Drags on the board and was able to overwhelm.
Yeah, I feel like
the Rider.
I feel like the MVP on this game were the air cards, like Josie was saying before the game started.
And you know, you talk about the matches you want to see. On one semifinal set, Mohamed Light and Lucas. So cannot wait to see that one. And we're definitely gonna see that one later. But coming up next, we have a great matchup in. Oh yeah, I've totally missed the transition there. We're gonna have Reuben and Surgical Goblin coming up as well. So all these matchups are phenomenal. But definitely, I think Mo Lucas is the one that everyone wanted to see. And if you're on the right side of the bracket, you definitely wanted to see Lucas there because that's the best chance of getting Mo the heck out of here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see an OG matchup between Surgical and Ruben. I'm sure a lot of the chat is ready to see it too.
And I see someone asking for the co-casters' names. We have Jebas and Julesy, the 2 top coaches in the world for the last 2 years. Coaches for Mo, coaches for Morton, coaches for a lot of your favorite players. And, of course, you guys have both worked with I feel like it bounces around who's working with who at different days, but I know that both of you have worked with, like, half the top 16 are players that you work with. So definitely, a pretty big swath there. And, of course, that's my name right there. I'm Rich Slayton, caster for CRL. And really excited to have all of you guys here and part of this competition overall. Big thanks again, of course, to AMG, to Supercell, and to all of you for being here watching. The easiest way for you to support is to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We do fun stuff like this all the time. You want to see the top pros playing Clash Royale in duel mode, in Mega Draft mode, all sort of stuff. We do that here here all the time. So come on, hit the sub button, hang out, and let's go ahead and jump into Surgical Goblin versus Reuben, the 2019 CRL World Champion leader for Team Liquid, against the man who carried Team Queso to a 2020 World Championship in Reuben, and 2 guys who have been, at one point, the top player on the planet.
Yeah, very exciting to see. I've missed watching these 2 battle out. I don't think we have seen any battles in solo CRL between these 2, so I think this will be their first encounter.
And a big note for everyone here as well, we have this random circle, this random wheel that spins every time to decide who picks first. So this time it will be Surgical Goblin getting the first pick. He'll get the first pick, Reuben gets the next 2, they go back and forth, Surge gets the last pick, and then after game 1, the loser of each game ends up having first pick in the next game. So right now, Surgical Goblin first pick. Jebas, you had a thought, go ahead.
I was gonna say, they already played last year. They played in ESL, one of the splits, first round of the playoffs, and Ruben won 2-1. Yeah. Ruben won 2-1.
Okay.
Where I think Surgical had slam matchup, but Ruben just managed to grab the win there.
And Mohamed Nabil says, Jebas and Jules, will Arch Queen be dead, and will Giant Skelly Hog still be good? I think that's the question for Jebas, far away.
What was the question? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Will Giant Skelly Hog EQ with Queen be dead after the balances? What do you think?
Nah, I don't think so. I think so. Queen will still be viable, right?
Yeah. The ability is still just too strong. Still gets too much value for 1 elixir.
One elixir, you grab a lot of value. Exactly.
Yeah, well, we're still going to see it be the best glass cannon alongside archers next season.
Fascinating to see the champion picks early on. You see the Surgical picking Monk to open things up and maybe just wanted to get to our early counter to the Archer Queen. I'm a bit surprised to see Reuben not waiting for his champion pick now, since, of course, since Surge can't pick 2. And we talked about this a lot yesterday, Jules, or a lot, Jebas, that sometimes it feels like a player picks the champion when they don't know what else they want to do yet.
Yeah, champions are always a nice safe pick to build your deck around.
I also wanted to ask you something, Rich. What do you think of Ruben's deck's decision? Because I didn't see him playing yesterday, but I know in, for example, normal matches, he likes to play off meta decks. Did you see that from him yesterday? Look at his cards right now.
Yeah, this is an interesting selection from him. I don't know where he's going. I mean, obviously, Reuben known for Hog Rider, known for Balloon, known for RG. RG, Loon, both not on the... Or RG's on the board here. And this could be... I mean, you have the Monk, so probably not going to go RG direction. I'd be...
Also Hoggies. Also Hoggies. He loves Hoggies as well.
Yeah, he does. He does play Royal Hogs. It's true. And
also, I might add, I don't think we've seen one meta deck since Mega Draft competition started, so I don't think Ruben's going to stand out in that aspect.
Yeah, it is pretty hard to pick meta.
He had recruits Hoggies here, but I think Surge realized he wanted to play Fireball bait and picked Pop Tower instantly. That was a smart pick.
And Surge put himself in a really good position by, once again, like I was saying before, opening with Monk. Opening a Monk takes Queen off the board, it counters Mighty Miner. There's Archers, Bomber, Minion Horde, Muskie on the board as well, and a Sparky. So Monk is a really, really nice opening pick from Surge there.
John O'Connor here saying that Reuben should go Drill.
Yes, Ruben's right. Drill would be really nice here. There's not really any answers on the board.
Reuben goes Miner instead. And Miner's, he does take Miner away from Surge if Surge was trying to play for a Lava Miner, and there's not, like, the Miner catches here aren't actually great for Surgical Goblin.
I can't believe we didn't see an Inferno Tower from Reuben, to be honest. He's going to struggle to do with the Lava with only Flying Machine as his air card.
Very interesting. Well, he did pick Cage already, so maybe he didn't want to try to go 2 buildings. But as we've learned in Mega Draft, you got to get weird sometimes. Yes.
And I think he's gone Fireball and Poison, so doubling up on a certain type of card doesn't seem to be a problem for him. Someone says, I really hope they make Mega Draft permanent, the most fun mode ever. I agree, and I think all of us here in the casting booth agree. The international casting booth.
It's super fun, and the big thing is that it's a totally different way to play Clash Royale, and that's refreshing.
Yeah. Yes.
I still feel like maybe in 1 year we might think it will be boring, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But right now,
you think
really
Mega Draft could be?
Yeah, it can be a game mode, but after, for example, 1 year or 2, it can get a bit boring. Like some people are saying duels.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, I'll tell you what, as someone who's cast almost every CRL game in the history of this, of at least the Western side of things, you know, when we had no draft mode, where we had no duel mode and no bans, just seeing essentially the same 2 to 3 decks over and over and over again was absolutely brutal. So anything that creates deck variance is something I'm super in favor of, and this obviously is one of them. And speaking of, let's get back to the gameplay here as the Rascals split to the right-hand lane. And the Flying Machine, this is, we talk about the things that are hard to deal with here. Lightning for the Flying Machine, you want to get value, otherwise you're kind of wasting some elixir. And the Minion Horde not going to be great there because, hey, look at that, Fireball.
Yeah, there's a really nice cage there by Reuben, protecting his Flying Machine from the Rascal, knowing Flying Machine is his only way he's going to be able to deal with lava.
Rich, you said Fireball, but he has Fireball, he has Poison, and he has the Mighty Miner Bolt.
Yeah.
3 counters to Minion Horde.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, Minion Horde is just generally shut down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think Minion Horde is probably one of the weakest picks you can do in Mega Draft. So if you guys are watching, do not pick Minion Horde in this global tournament.
Unless Fireball, Poison, Snowball, and Mighty Miner are all out.
Arrows, Mother
Arrows.
Witch.
Hey, but with only 36 cards, certainly possibilities all the way
Yes.
for that to happen. And let's go Miner to the tower. And this is just, again, this is what I was talking about beforehand. There's really no convenient way for Surgical Goblin to catch miners. So he's having to just take all of this damage here and hope they can find a way to break through. So far, has not quite had the answer for it. Monk goes ahead and reflects against the flying machine, and there you go. Here's the 5 elixir spend that gets one Rascal Girl off to finally do something about a miner.
Ruben's somehow defending very nice so far.
Oh, but this is trouble. The Valk does just barely get down in time. It will tank a lot of this damage.
Flying machine getting insane value.
Yeah. Absolutely insane value. And now finally goes ahead and gets it off the board with a lightning. But that's going to open up an opportunity here for a bit of a push. Miner going to go to the back. No, not enough elixir to get any of the cards that counter Miner on the board. Monk comes down late. Fireball pushes back. That's a lot of damage here for Reuben with only 70 or so seconds left.
Yeah, I think Ruben could have this here. He just needs a miner, then a poison, and a fireball. And there isn't really a good enough miner catch for...
Ruben.
Yeah, there is just one fireball and it's over. Wow,
Ruben
very well played by Ruben.
Ruben going double spell was very good because he only has miner, so having the double spell really helped him winning this one.
Yeah. And his only decent minor catch was a 5 elixir card, being the monk. The rest would all get obliterated by fireball and poison.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like Surgical's deck was very hard to cycle with as well.
Yes.
You know, back to the conversation we're talking about at the beginning of this game. Think about ever being in a situation where we're like, wow, how brilliant was it he put fireball and poison both in his deck, right? That's not a thing that would typically ever happen. You would have to be on the best snipe of all time and doing that even in duels, right? And you'd have to be sitting there like, you have to be really, really confident that you weren't going to need one of those two. It'd have to be like a game 2 or game 3 move where you had played neither of them beforehand. So, again, the weirdness of this mode continuing to rear its head. Great gameplay by Reuben. Here we go, game number 2. Surge with first pick one more time and goes with a pretty basic pick, Log, one of the safest early picks you can make.
Yes, exactly, Rich. And something I love about Mega Draft is it's not just about recognizing what cards would be strong. It's also about building a deck that has synergy and works well together. And Surge's deck just didn't quite gel together in that match.
Yeah, I feel like he was trying to go for something, then that something didn't went as planned, and then he had no idea what to do on the last card.
Oh yeah, exactly. Why it's the highest skill mode, guys.
There we go. There we go. Arrow's the pick here for Reuben. And Surgical maybe recognizing that it's going to be a little hard to get the Skeleton Dragons off the board from a spell standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's no Executioner, no Mother Witch, no Mega Minion, no Phoenix, so Skelly Drag should get a lot of good value here. Especially on defense.
Ruben here might try to go for a balloon or a graveyard. That's some win conditions that he loves to play.
Yeah, I agree.
Loon would
see
be
sorry.
Loon would be interesting, right? Because from a building standpoint, you don't have any buildings that can target the balloon.
Yeah.
You know, you can distract it for a little while here. I'm trying to look at Dart Goblin. That would kind of force Dart Goblin or Spears as picks for Surgical, and then you have the arrows.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be a Piggies or an RG deck so far for Surge. Both good combos of EQ. So maybe Reuben already recognizing that Surgical Goblin is looking at Piggies and taking Valk, even though it's weird to take another mini tank. Valk is a really good option against Piggies.
I feel like since he picked Valk, he's not gonna pick Mega Knight Balloon, so he might go Graveyard here.
Yeah.
His last cards could be, for example, Graveyard Fisherman. I could see Ruben picking that.
Yeah.
Now with Balloon picked, I don't know.
And now
Could see a monk alongside this from Surge.
Now this is interesting
Counter the minions.
Interesting pick for Surge here because he's picking Loon into minions with, unless he has Skelly Dragons behind it, not a great way to deal with the minions here.
Well, possibly he goes with a monk last card. Oh, definitely wants to go with monk now.
Yeah.
Great counter to Mighty Miner and both minions.
Yeah, monk is gonna be huge for Surge.
Yeah. And let's see. Could be giant for... Oh no, piggies. Yeah, I like the piggies pick. Skelly Drags is the only real good counter to them.
All right, here we go, piggies. And is Surge going monk? We'll find out in a moment.
Oh,
It really feels like it's the only.
Hey.
I think you're a half second ahead there, Jules, but you did. You were like, yay, and I was like, he has it. Oh, there he did. Yeah, I think I know now. There we go. All right, here we go. Game number 2. Reuben with the match point. Surge needs to play 2 to get back, and Reuben just going with a couple cycle cards early in his Snowball and his Ice Spirit.
Jules,
Yeah, so
do you think Surgical saw Ruben wanted to go Graveyard? That's why he picked EQ as well?
Well, yeah, probably. Or he was trying to go for a piggies deck or an RG deck originally. I think that's what he originally had in mind. Then he saw Ruben was going for Balloon.
Yeah.
So he tried to stop him getting Balloon. But it's, yeah, to me, another interesting bridge battle here. Ruben's going to have to block the monk at the bridge in order to be able to defend with his minions and minion horde, because Surgical really has no other way except for monk to truly break through that minion horde.
What an absolute full send here. The monk, of course, goes and ruins the minion horde, but not much there for pigs, and Surgical Goblin with the wow. So we saw the shake of the head earlier from Reuben when the balloon connected, as he didn't really have anything to stop it, and then Surgical Goblin has to respond to the minion horde, and at that point, nothing really in cycle to stop those piggies, and that is a ton of damage halfway through regulation time, and Reuben's roared back into the lead, 10:54 to 21:72.
Yeah, really nice recognition by Reuben there. Knowing that Skelly Drags is his only real counter to pigs, just know he can go pigs opposite lane and get a ton of damage. Sorry, Jebbies.
Yeah, and he knew that the monk plus ability is 6 elixir, so wouldn't have 4 elixir for sure to defend.
Yeah. Reuben has always been well known for his elixir recognition.
Fire Spirit, Log, and still so much damage in.
Oh,
and
wow. That minion horde predict.
Absolutely nice play by Surgical Goblin, but can he get anything out of it here with that tower down? And not going to happen. Looks like Reuben has this one all locked up as we go into the final 45.
Yeah, I don't see Surge breaking through here really unless he can get a huge push going. Even if he uses Monk on these minions, then Reuben always has another minion horde to back it up.
Cannon Cart trying to get the Mighty Miner off the board. Skelly Drags behind the Monk. Minion Horde is now Minion's now out.
Ooh.
The Monk reflecting, but Minion Horde, there is enough elixir for it, and that will chew up that balloon and not let it get anywhere near the tower. So Surge doing his best to construct a good push there at the end, but not able to make it happen. This loon will get shut down again. GG, well played. Reuben with a very, very nice 2-0, and he will become our third of 4 semifinalists in this competition.
Yeah, really well played by Reuben. Really using the synergy between minions and minion horde well, forcing out the ability, going minions first, and then using minion horde behind that, knowing that Surge only has EQ and log, so no way to kill the minion horde.
And here we go, looking at the bracket, you see Reuben does join Mohamed, Light, and Lucas. So we have a pretty good. Right now we have a 2 in 4 chance of having a world champion in our finals, and potentially 2 world champions. And by the way, everybody, that's my creator code, Code Rich. I talked about this yesterday for a second. My wife and I are expecting Slayton Jr. number 2 this Friday, like 5 days from now. Baby number 2. Really, really excited for it. So if you want to help my baby get something neat, use code Rich in the shop. That'd be really cool to support. I'll use my baby to get you to use my code. And if you don't use my code, though, use someone's code. I know the new season starts tomorrow. You can go into the shop, go to the bottom, put in someone's code, and you can support them if you do end up getting Pass Royale or something like that. So if you want to support me, it's code Rich. If not, there are a lot of great codes out there. Support a content creator. So remember to do it before you go ahead and do your stuff in the shop, because it is super helpful for all of us in a great way. that you can help us out if you're going to buy something already anyway. So really would appreciate that. And if you want to help me out for free, hit subscribe. We just passed 91,000 subscribers. So we hit 90,000 yesterday. We're at 91,000 today. So that's a free way to support if you want to as well. Those are both super cool, and they help me bring you fun stuff like this and able to make lots more fun community competitions, both within CRL, but then also fun stuff like this outside of CRL.
And interestingly, if you can tell, it's 3 a.m. here. Oh my lord! Interestingly enough, if Bassotto wins here, then we have a complete top four of monthly final winners.
That's true.
So
absolutely.
Draft showing once again that it is a very competitive mode.
And first pick here for Ian. And for those of you who, I guess we're not going right into gameplay here. For those of you who might not have seen it, Ian is, I do have a video on this channel from a couple days ago of a BO5 in Mega Draft mode between Ian and Riley. So if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. It's a great BO5 between the Hog Master and the Bait God. Let's go ahead and now go into the draft between these two.
Now comments, man is lagging IRL. It's 3 a.m. Please give me a break. Okay, so Ian picking up Log as the first spell. Log is always a very safe pick. Goblin Gang and Spear Goblins on the board as well, so you could be looking to pick those up to get good value out of them.
Fireball, the first pick here for Samwell, and decides to go with the Monk early. Very early pick here.
Yeah, I think the Monk is always a nice early pick. There's Cannon Car, Expo on the board, Minions, Ice Wizard. So it should be able to get good value.
Or a minor deck, I guess. Or he wants to go Hog. I don't know. He has Hog EQ opens.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see him pick up EQ here.
Hog EQ open and not phenomenal counters here. You know, you look at the EQ counters overall, he picks Cage, which was the best building for countering the Hog here, at least in my opinion, the best of the buildings available. You guys might tell me I'm wrong for some reason. And then the rest of it here...
No, I would never.
No, you might not, but I know Jebba's would.
I don't think Expo is a good counter Hogs. I have to go with your answer, Rich.
And Spears pick number 3 here for Samwell. And, you know, it'd be interesting to see. I don't think Samwell steals Hog here, although he might just to stick it to Ian a bit. But it does feel like Sam is maybe Sam's building towards Minor.
Yeah, or Hog.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, and Hog would have been a fine option for Sam. I mean, as you were saying, Rich, there isn't any good building counters to Hog on the board, so.
Or Hog is right, but I don't know. Looking at the end cards,
Yeah.
I don't think Hoggies would be amazing. From
We could see a Sparky pick from Bassotto here. Could be interesting to see.
Oh, yeah.
Not anymore, actually.
And
I
there
think
we
he's
go.
going to stick with his cycle comfort decks, but
Guys, your boy's learning here. Sam picking Minor, Ian picking Hog.
Yeah, I mean it's the safest. I always tell you, Rich. They're just gonna. Most of them are just.
there it is. There's the Sparky.
And my word. Okay, the Sparky
Wow.
pick. So talk to me about this Sparky pick, Jules, because you were talking about the Sparky pick. Why do you like that here, and especially now with a Sparky Minor deck?
Well, Ian already has Log and EQ, so he's most likely not going to go with Zap or Lightning, as triple spell isn't great in a Hog deck. And there just isn't really anything else on the board except recruits.
It should
to
be
counter the Sparky.
recruits though. Recruits Hog doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah, I mean, then he'll have a very expensive deck, and he'll struggle to cycle. But yeah, since there's no good buildings, no good responses, Sparky was actually the best response to Hog because he can just play it in the back, and without a proper big spell and only just having EQ, Ian doesn't have great responses to it.
Dark Prince can absorb one of those shots from the Sparky, so we'll see how much that ends up being a factor. And the Cage here not really needing to be used for, and the recruits picked by Sam here.
Very nice, making sure Ian can't get the recruits.
Yeah.
Very, very nicely done. And the cage also here not needed to stop the not needed to stop the miner or pull anything significant. So very curious. And that's what I was going to ask was of the air options, because he had nothing really for those minions. Was Ice Wiz the best pick? And Ian got there before I did. So here we go. Game number 1. Last year's number 3 finisher at CRL World Finals up against the top ladder finisher and king of Hog Rider, who goes with it second play. Sparky to counter. We'll get a shot or two here first.
And I really like the Ice Wiz pick. Out of the ranged troops alongside Witch, it's one of the best cards against Monk because it still survives with half of its HP.
Perfect Dark Prince played up high here.
I feel like the MVP for Ian would be as Inferno Dragon. It's gonna be
Yeah, I agree.
against some of Samuel's cards. He doesn't have a reset
Yeah, but I think minions will get a lot of value for Bassotto
as well. Yeah, as well.
He does have fireball delivery recruits and minions, so they should do decent against Inferno Dragon. But defensively, Inferno Dragon's going to get a lot of value.
So talking
against Monk.
about Samuel's deck here, do you have any expectation of him breaking through with Sparky, or is the Sparky just going to be, play some defense, primarily force out responses, and then Miner is the primary way of dealing damage?
Yeah, so Sparky's just going to be cycled in the back to mess with Ian's cycle, making sure he can't freely cycle troops into the back into a Sparky. I don't think we'll see him break through a Sparky. We've got 2 shielded cards, Inferno Dragon and the Cage, but anything could happen in this mode, so see what Samuel can make happen.
You're talking about anything happening right now, the pressure being just poured on by Ian, who's doing a great job in both lanes with a ton of damage. And we've seen Sam get down to, they're now even on Elixir, but a couple of times playing to 0 Elixir defensive responses, and you see the result here with half tower damage on the right-hand side and over a third on the left-hand lane as we go into double Elixir time.
Yeah, I'm really liking the recruits pick from Samuel. It means that he can safely Sparky in the back, and then he can cover both lanes, as his hog responses aren't that good.
Fireball goes in on the Ice Wiz as the Inferno Dragon gets taken care of by the spears up high. Sparky will get stocked, but again, we're talking about the forcing out responses game here. Dark Prince gonna need something, and the Sparky pulls the Dark Prince into the middle. Very nicely done by Sam.
And we're seeing... Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, we're seeing Ian's experience with Hog here. I think that's might be what Jeb was about to say. Defending perfectly while hogging in the middle and getting free hits with Hog. And there we see it again.
And EQ in, Hog will connect, and that should be a fireball. We'll hold off for a second. Doesn't matter. And Ian gets it done with what you expect, Hog EQ. And, you know, Sam saw it all on the board, and it really felt like he just didn't prepare to have a response for Hog EQ.
Well, yeah, but I think Sparky was the best response he had. There was no Tesla, no bomb tower, no snowball. So it was a tough draft for Bassotto there. But maybe he should have recognized earlier that there was Hog, and taking that away from Ian could have been an important pick.
Yeah, I also feel like his single elixir from Ian was very solid. So, for example, in the long run, maybe triple, he would have more problems to defend as well. Yeah,
Ian's pressure with Hog, he's widely considered one of the best Hog players in the world, and he was able just to pressure perfectly and not allow Samuel to put up a push.
And let me go ahead. I'm going to move this replay icon's been bugging me in this position this whole time. Here we go, taking a look at the replay, and you know, this is just what you were talking about pretty consistently, right? Was that you see the middle Hog play. Now in this situation, game was already over, but talk to me a bit. This is going to be one of the places that I think non-pro level Hog players struggle with, right? Because they see pro players do things like playing Hog in the middle, and I don't know if they always understand when and why to play Hog in the middle. So I don't know who's more of the Hog guy between the two of you. Any major, any like top level do's and don'ts of Hog in the middle versus Hog in the Hog spot?
Well, Mohamed is one of the best Hog in the middle players, so I'll let Jebbers explain this one.
I don't know. I feel like Hog in the middle is when you want to distract both sides, right? Or you want to push troops to the middle so both towers engage?
Well, it's often I see Mohamed do it because they've got a big push coming down the lane, and they need a fireball, they need a lightning to finish off your defense. But you can hog in the middle, one to distract the defense and to force out a defensive troops so they're not able to complete their push.
For example, against P.E.K.K.A, when they're when they're pressing you double line, you usually hog the middle so your cannon engages both sides.
Yes, exactly, and they can't fireball your cannon or your muskie because they haven't got enough elixir because they have to defend.
And that's a really great pick, I think, from Ian here early on, recognizing no AQ and not a lot of wonderful single-target DPS range troops. So that first pick of Musketeer may be unorthodox, but actually I think a high IQ pick for this round of Mega Draft.
Yes, I agree. Very smart. The only way to kill the Muskie would be if you took arrows, zap, and log, which no one's going to take. So Muskie should get a lot of value for Ian here. And Samuel, guard from a previous game, taking log and EQ straight away, making sure Ian doesn't have access to hog EQ again.
Josie, give me a second. Rich, I have to go now. I'm really sorry.
Oh, hey, you know what? If you're able to join us at the back end again, just jump on in. Let me know. Otherwise, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, see you, Jebus.
Guys. Don't fall asleep,
Love
Josie.
you.
Don't fall asleep, Josie.
It's
all on you now.
Me too. See you.
Nicolas Silver saying how to get the white CRL hoodie. I believe it's qualify for World Finals. I think is the answer to that question. So,
yes.
Just make top 16 in the world this year. You'll be fine.
I'm liking the look of Bassotto's deck here. It would be good to see Ian pick up an E-Drag or something like that. There's not really any good answers on the board to E-Drag, and it could get a lot of value against Mighty Miners, Cannon Carts, and the rest of the ground troops that Bassotto is going to bring.
And we'll see if Samuel does actually go with Hog here. And now he kind of has he can kind of hold off on picking win condition, it feels like, because it would be shocking. He goes ahead and he picks the Royal Hog, so delivery is a likely choice here from Ian. But do you think delivery is the best choice here for a second spell from Ian, or should it be arrows so he has some capability on the other side of the board?
Yeah, I think he needs arrows and he needs something else to pressure. Right now, without a log or a big spell, he's going to need like a Golden Knight or an Inferno Dragon or something like that. Oh yeah, exactly. Balloon, even better. And very, very nice pick. There's not a single air card except for E-Spirit in Bassotto's deck as well. So.
We'll use the first few seconds once we get into gameplay to see if we can get ourselves synced back up. Because you're still there goes Zap. Yeah, you're about a second ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. We'll see if we can get ourselves synced up later. And yeah, so Minor Loon, an archetype that's basically dead in Clash Royale. But you see the opportunity here, and what a fascinating pick, 3M Royal Hogs.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, the third 3M pick we've seen in this competition. So really exciting to see a card that I'm generally happy isn't viable in the game, but I love that it's viable in this game mode.
Yeah, so Ian going Balloon plus Zap when Samuel only had one card left. So reading that there was Inferno Dragon on the board, Ian taking a Zap to counter that, so then Bassotto forced to go with 3 Musketeers, which actually ends up being a very nice pick, since Ian only has Zap and Barbaro as his spells.
Pig to the right-hand side, Zap and Tesla to control here. And that's going to be really interesting to see how he has to continuously pull here. If Tesla's out of cycle, then Barbell, Fireball, Skeletons to try to deal with these pigs. Log might follow those if Tesla's out of cycle. Keep an eye on that one, everybody. And Mortar goes high. Musketeer immediate counter to get it out of the situation. And a little surprise there. I guess maybe it's because he was high on Elixir, but it felt like Sam could have waited a little bit longer and fully countered that Musketeer with the log by itself.
Yeah. Yeah, really nice pressure by Bassotto here, seeing as soon as he goes to Barbaro, he can go with pigs, and there isn't any great answer on the board. I think single is going to be Ian's chance to get damage, and he's running out of time here, because in double and triple, Samuel's going to be able to keep cycling 3 Musketeers in the back, and with no big spell, there isn't much Ian can do about that.
And the E-Spirit log combination does take care of the Muskie. Miner will go to the number 3 spot here, the front inside corner. Cannon cart to stop it. We should see a mortar high to try to get pressure and pull the loon. There we go. And Muskie not available to help get that mortar off the board means mortar gets a shot, and balloon pretty much fully countered here. So things going from bad to worse right now for Ian as we go into double elixir. And this is where, as you said, things might get much worse for him.
Yeah, and he unfortunately missed the King Tower activation with the skeletons from the mortar. So mortar gets 2 hits, and the activated King Tower is going to be huge against piggies.
So here we go. 2 to the left, 1 to the right for the 3 Musketeers. Samuel getting back up to 10. Goes Cannon Cart to protect the Musketeer on the right-hand side. Piggies in the middle. Tesla should pull to the center here, and Miner Skeletons go to work on the left-hand side on the double Muskies. Pigs do get through a little bit, though, and that Muskie on the left should get 1 shot, and it does. So the lead opens up for Samwell, 1364 on the right-hand side to 1768, and Sam right back to 3 Musketeers again. And this is, we have a minute here for Ian to try to get some sort of connection, but this is going to be very difficult for him to make a big difference before we get the triple.
Yeah, Ian defending as best he can, but like I was saying, Samuel can just keep cycling through Muskies in the back. There's not great answers to piggies or cannon cart or mighty miner or mortar on the board. So unless Ian's able to get a surprise balloon miner in, I think Bassotto takes this game.
Mortar to the right-hand side.
There's the surprise.
There's the loon. I'm at 135, by the way, Jules. 133 as the loon comes into the left-hand lane. Musk 3M. And that right there, if Ian had found a way to distract 3M, if he'd had Miner, enough elixir for Miner at the moment to go and distract the 3M, anything for it, that could have been a game-changing play. Instead, we are looking like we're going to be going. Here we are, going to game number 3. Ian will have first pick, and just consistent, great pressure from Sam that Ian just could not hold off against.
Yeah, just controlling the whole game by cycling through Muskies in the back every time. With no big spell, no snowball, there isn't much Ian could do.
So let's go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm watching in-game, Rich, so what would be the best way for us to sync up?
Oh, that's right. You're watching in-game rather than on the clean feed.
Sorry.
That's right. Let me go ahead and get you the clean feed link, which I think I actually already have ready to go.
Thank you.
That should be the clean feed link, and then we can get nice synced up, and you'll see all the fun graphics and all that stuff as well.
Wow, how exciting.
And speaking of all the fun stuff here, this is the ending, but I thought, let me go back and see the beginning of that replay. Yeah, you see the loon come in, and just not the elixir wasn't there in time to distract 3 Musketeers. So tough spot for Ian overall, and now he has first pick in game number 3. An easy choice here with the log. Champions, Skeleton King, Monk, and the Golden Knight, so no AQ to think about. Spells, not a lot of big spells here. You have lightning and you have poison.
Yeah. So if Bassotto doesn't pick them up, I think Poison and Golden Knight could be a great combo here. And then Dark Goblin's going to get a crazy amount. We'll see if he takes the Golden Knight. Or the Monk, actually. Okay, he's happy to take the Miner. Well, yeah, he doesn't need to take the Golden Knight or the Monk because Samuel's already taken the Skelly King. So he's happy just to go for the Miner Poison combo. Ian in a very good position right now.
Do you think Sam picks Skarmy at some point to feed the Skelly King and help with those minor pickups in the back?
Yeah, it would make sense. But he might want to avoid giving too much log and poison value.
Hacked commenting on my book in the background, This Is Not Fame. That's a book by the great Doug Stanhope, my all-time favorite stand-up comic. And it's a great book about one of the many books about his comedy career, written by Doug himself.
So Dark Goblin, a great pick. I'd love to see Rascals be picked up by Ian as well. And the Dark Goblin plus Rascals combo are going to get insane value, with Bassotto only having Lightning as the big spell. And of course, no access to Golden Knight.
Minor, Poison, Log. Log will be nice against the Spears here.
Yeah, so Samuel forced into an awkward position. You can see he's not quite sure what to pick. There isn't very many obvious options on the board. So I think he's just waiting for the win condition to come.
And
Sparky again.
Wow. All right. Very interesting choice here.
Yeah, especially from a cycle player.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought he was going to be leaning towards Ram Rider potentially at some point.
Yeah, I thought so
Ram Rider
too.
Lightning, but
yeah, I think it's an easy Monk plus Rascals pick now for... Mortar plus Rascals pick now for Ian. Monk, very nice pick. Okay, Bomb Tower. Yeah, I think Bomb Tower's better actually. Sparky is pretty good against Mortar.
And maybe he was thinking that Sam is going to go Sparky Pigs or something wild like that.
Yeah, I agree.
So the
Giant Skelly, wow.
All right, this is interesting. The Giant Skelly is an interesting one because there's not a lot here that you want to... Not a lot of big bridge fights in this one.
Could see a Rage here from Bassotto looking to... Freeze, wow.
We saw Freeze picked yesterday. I'm trying to remember which match Free... I think KK went for a Freeze deck yesterday and just found himself in a lot of really awkward positions with that Freeze.
But Bassotto picking up Freeze because he knows that Monk is going to be an amazing counter against Sparky. Oh. So his thought process is if he can catch the Monk with a Freeze before the Sparky shoots, and the Sparky can carry on powering through.
Very smart, and you see a lot of the chat here with the exact same idea. So we'll see if Sam's able to get it done. Hack saying, well, today's going to be no Elixir Pump day. Yes, correct, because Elixir Pump is banned in today's competition because it appears in starting hands. It was not coded inside of Mega Draft to be out of starting hands like it is in the rest of the game, so the choice was made to ban Pump from competition.
I think even with that Freeze, this is a good matchup for Ian. There's no way to get through to Dark Goblin. Double Spirit's a great distraction to Sparky, and obviously Minor Poison Log being possibly the best combo in the game right now. I think yesterday we saw 8 out of the top 10 on ladder playing Mortar Minor Poison with Log.
Yeah, it's certainly doing pretty well at the moment. And being able to do so much there and still be in a good place to respond to this giant skeleton. Chris is cool asking what cards are banned. The only banned card from the competition today is Pump. All the rest of the cards that are available in Mega Draft are available for picking.
Moments like this is why I just love Mega Draft. I mean, we're seeing Bassotto, who's known as a Cycle player, always plays Cycle, playing Sparky, Giant Skelly, Freeze. So it's just amazing to see some variation in players' gameplay.
And that was, I mean, I guess he has to play the Dark Goblin behind it. You see the oops out of Ian. I was saying that was a mistake out of Ian to play that Electro Spirit up high like that. And we have not seen Sparky yet. So that's the interesting part here is, and maybe just waiting until double and triple to finally get it into the mix, but no Sparky.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to play it in single because then he won't have enough to build a push and freeze the Monk.
Poison high, trying to get value on Fisherman and everything. And now this is a lot for Ian to handle right now. He has plenty of cycle cards to distract, but certainly has to be careful here and not let anything slip as that Phoenix tries to get away, does get turned back in towards the middle at the last second, and going to be a slight Elixir advantage despite this. I guess maybe the Dark Goblin does even things up. Nice pickup there against the Miner. Ian playing really nice defense right now.
Yeah, Dark Goblin getting incredible value. There's just no way for Samuel to get it off the board.
Yeah, the Dark Goblin is just hanging out.
I really want to see a Sparky freeze push.
It is the interesting play here, and we're getting closer to triple Elixir, 50 seconds away. And here goes the Sparky on the right-hand side. Monk not in cycle at the moment. So that's really compelling stuff here. First Spirit, now there's the Monk. Can he freeze it in time? And no, he plays the freeze the opposite side. What a fascinating freeze play out of Samuel Bassotto.
Giant Skelly?
You think the Monk is going to be the freeze target. Bomb does not quite connect. Doesn't matter. Samuel Bassotto takes the lead with 90 seconds left. High IQ play out of the Brazilian. And that just, I think that Jules, I think that really put Ian on notice here. That freeze could do a lot of different stuff in this matchup.
Yeah, that was a very, very smart freeze. Ian expecting it on the monk, and then him going the Dark Goblin and getting a ton of damage on the left-hand side.
And freezes again on the Dark Goblin. This time does not get the same value he might have been hoping for. But look at the Skelly King, doesn't quite get to the right-hand side for very much damage. Sets up Giant Skeleton, left-hand lane. Ice Spirit for cycle from Sam, final 47 seconds. And the lead for Ian, easier to do tower damage for Ian, but in triple elixir, anything can happen with this deck.
And in the chat, we have someone saying co-commenting looks really fun. Yes, anything with Rich is very fun, and it makes my life much easier when I can just analyze while Rich animates the whole competition.
That's how it works. You're doing a great job. And look at that. You talk about can't do anything about Dark Goblins. There's 3 Dark Goblins on the board right now. When's the last time you saw 3 Dark Goblins other than a picture someone drew of 3 Dark Goblins? Here we go. Final 10 seconds. Samuel trying to find some way to break through here. The desperation freeze not going to be enough. And despite a couple of frightening moments and a very smart play by Samuel, it's Ian able to shut things down and get the win. GG, well played. We now have our 4th semifinalist.
Yep, so Dark Goblin getting incredible value there, definitely MVP. And unfortunately, we won't see a top 4 of only monthly final winners. But I'm very excited to see what Ian can do in this stacked top 4.
Apparently he can play lots of Dark Goblins. We'll talk about more of that later. Taking a look at our semifinals, and this is a phenomenal semifinals. The defending world champion, Mohamed Light, up against his friend, and maybe call frenemy in some ways. The 2 guys have been competing for that top spot the last couple of years. Lucas and Mo on one side. On the other, another former world champion, Reuben from the 2020 Team Queso squad, at one time #1 player in the world, up against Ian 77. Currently, and there's a big discussion right now, currently a candidate for the top player out of the U.S. Ian and Airsurfer both kind of vying for that spot, and I think a lot of the OGs would say Airsurfer. A lot of people who are newer in the game would say Ian. A lot of people love Ian. His YouTube channel really blowing up here. I mean, how big is this? Like, what's the skill gap right now between Ian and Airsurfer? Because it feels like Ian's done a really good job of closing that in the last year or so.
Yeah, well, I think Ian's just very, very good at his cycle decks, whereas Airsurfer is much more versatile, which is why we see Airsurfer at World Finals, and Ian more focusing on ladder. So it'll be interesting to see whether Ruben can shut down Ian's cycle decks, because that's going to be his main weakness.
And here you go. This is that fancy freeze play from Samuel that turned what felt like a rout into a pretty good matchup between these 2. And let's go take a look and see who will get the first pick here between Mohamed and Lucas. And looks like it's going to land on Lucas, so Lucas will get that first pick and that last pick. You know, back to this conversation of Ian, it's interesting because Ian's channel is totally based around around Hog Cycle, right? That's what made him great at Hog. But one thing I did see from Ian over time was I think he recognized as a content creator that only doing Hog videos had its benefits and its drawbacks. And so you saw Ian really start working with other kind of decks, and we've definitely seen his competitive ability improve over the last year and a half or so. The big question is how deep can that, especially in dual mode, grow so that he can play at the highest level in competition. We'll see how that one shakes out for him, but obviously in this game mode where he can pick towards cycle concepts a lot of the time, I think that this game mode benefits him more than dual mode from a competitive standpoint. Yeah,
I agree 100%. And it's also funny what you say about Lucas and Mohamed being frenemies. I mean, I think lots of people see Mohamed as a rival, but I don't think the feeling is mutual.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Some would say a rivalry requires both people to feel it. So,
yes.
Mo certainly in a class of his own. We'll see if right now, those of you who don't know, Mohamed Light currently now at university studying AI, and I don't know if it's robotics, but studying AI overall. And with how popular AI has been blowing up the last few months, seems like that's from success in Clash Royale to success in a future career. It seems like Mo's on a winning track overall with that that plan. Here's the question: is it possible to make an AI that's good at Clash Royale? That's the real question.
Well, we already have one in Mohamed.
All right, guys, big scoop here. You heard the inside information. Mohamed Light is an AI, and that would explain so much about the last couple of years.
But yeah, Mohamed Light at 19, there's a chance he becomes a millionaire this year if he gets another successful World Finals and studying AI at university. Already a very successful young man.
And someone asking, how do they choose who will draft first? We spin a wheel that was on screen to see who picks first in game number 1. After that, the loser of a game picks first in the following game. Run away now with maybe the best comment of the day. Mohamed couldn't find a worthy opponent, decides to go to college to create one himself. That's the winner right there.
Okay, so Lucas going Log and Goblins, one of the best combos to ever take in Mega Draft. Goblins being one of the best cards in the game right now, probably top 3. And Log comboed with those makes them really strong. Mohamed recognizing there's no E-Spirit, no Mother Witch, no Spirit at all on the board actually, so going with Bats. And Mohamed being one of the best Bats players in the world, having the confidence he can dominate using those.
Snowball, obviously, a nice counter for Bats overall. But the question is, what can Mo do to find other places that Snowball has to be used so they can't be used on the Bats?
I really like the confidence from Mohamed going with Skelly Drags. Confident that Lucas isn't going to go with... Oh, no, Lucas does go with Fireball. But I think Mohamed's fine with that because that's really going to mess up Lucas's cycle. Having a cycle card plus triple spell is going to make it hard for Lucas to cycle efficiently.
Fisherman. So could we we have not seen a lot of RG today. Quite a bit less than we're usually used to in this competition. In competition overall, really.
Yeah, well, RG is usually only a pick you want to take if you're picking first and last, because you want to take RG as the final pick, so they're not able to take a building.
Well, Bomb Tower has already been picked by Mohamed Light, and now Rage from Mo.
Wow, Rage.
What are you doing? Why would I question it? But what are you doing? It's not even a derisive question. It's a I don't understand. Rage. Jules, any thoughts?
I mean, it could be some kind of Skelly Barrel deck. Could be Hog too. But yeah, I'm really not sure. But I would like to see Lucas pick up RG here. Mohamed's answers aren't that great unless he picks up a mini P.E.K.K.A. But
I guess looking like RTube's something happened to RTube's stream. So to all the Portuguese and Brazilian, I think mostly Brazilian streamers or viewers who are coming here, obrigado for joining us, and very happy to have all of you here to see another Brazilian Lucas go up against our world champion. And
Bora Lucas.
Minor Rocket. Why is Rage here? Is it just to is he gonna rage up a bunch of flying stuff behind a monk and just try to push past a queen? I don't know what's happening.
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure either, but we'll see what his plan is. I've learned over the years not to doubt Mohamed, so.
Yeah, if he was like, hey, look at that volcano, let's go inside, I'd be like, it's probably a decent idea. Yeah, I usually wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he wanted some kind of way to get some minor damage through goblins. But I don't think minor was the pick anyway with goblins and with no real answer to goblins and zappies. But once again, yeah, never underestimate Mohamed with minor.
And the monk will nicely take care of the archer queen. And the discussion, of course, of what to do about monk has been a big discussion. And So just minor rage. And will
Somehow
it
making it work.
and somehow takes everything. And you know what? Interesting here, right? Minor rage gets the goblins off the board, gets a shot.
Yeah,
So-
Fisherman, Goblins, and gets a shot and some damage on the tower.
So what you gonna do?
So
What do you-
Mohamed happy with that interaction.
Yeah. And AQ ability perfectly timed. Minor, though, perfectly timed as well. So, man, just you're talking about two guys at the top of their game going head-to-head. And there's not much more enjoyable to watch. I mean, I could see these guys do a BO5, do a BO7. Just BO9, who cares?
Yeah, and both of them playing their, well, unorthodox versions, but they're one-trick decks as well. Lucas being one of the best RG players in the world for a long time, and Mohamed being the best minor rocket player in the world for the last 2 years. Or just minor player in general.
I've also seen a lot of people asking about where Morton is today. If you want to see Morton play some Mega Draft, Mo and Morton did a brilliant best of 7 on the channel here about 2 weeks ago. So you can go ahead and check that out in the videos if you want to see Morton doing some Mega Draft. And
no one breaking free yet. Great defense from both sides for now.
And getting word that the Brazilian broadcast is down due to weather issues. So again, welcome to
God.
all the Brazilian viewers. Happy to have you here, and sorry to hear that from your Brazilian stream. But hopefully you're able to. I'm glad you're able to join us, and hopefully you enjoy the show. And Lucas puts on a good one for you guys as we go into sudden death overtime. Mo does have the lead here in game number 1, as Lucas now begins to build a Royal Giant push to the left-hand side.
Oh, meu Deus. Yeah, looking decent for Mohamed right now. But Lucas, on paper, should be able to overwhelm when it gets to triple. So it will depend on whether Mohamed's micro can stay consistent as it's always been.
Look at how Lucas was able to keep the wow, and the rage is just craziness. This rage is craziness. I was surprised. Look at how Lucas was able to keep the Archer Queen on the board despite the Monk using some knockback there to open up some room. So interesting gameplay here from Lucas as we go into the final 80. Fireball trying to get enough room there for the RG to connect, and it will get 1, maybe 2. 2 do get through just like that. Lucas in the lead, 15-18 to 18-41.
Yeah, really nice recognition that Mohamed was down a little bit of elixir there. And Lucas showing again why he's one of the best RG players in the world.
Here we go. Triple elixir minor to the right-hand side. Goblins go high. They do not get the pickup. Rocket to start cycling. And remember, that's the big thing there that we did not think about. Rocket cycle is certainly a part of this one. And with 45 seconds left, Lucas has to break through and do enough damage to outpace that rocket cycle, which is going to be absolutely massive. And nice fireball there from Lucas to get the Skelly Dragons and the bomb tower off the board.
And now, we've got the split lane pressure. See a second RG.
And second RG will get onto the right-hand side. Skeleton Dragons give a lot of fireball value here. Fishboy, let's see. Okay, here we go. Rocket cycle to the right-hand lane. Down to 8:33. 12 seconds left. Snowball trying to get through just enough. The rage on the RG. Can the RG get a shot off? RG shot. Fireball in. Minor does get picked up, and
GG.
there you go. What a great game. What a great play there by Lucas at the end. And we're going to game number 2 with Lucas in the advantage.
Yeah, so very nicely played by Lucas, getting the King Tower activation, defending well, and knowing that if he just makes it into a triple, then he can get that split lane push going and beat him in the damage race.
And you can see in the chat, if you are watching here on YouTube, I think if you're watching, you actually are watching here on YouTube, the Brazilians going wild at that fence. Let's go ahead and take a look at the final moments in the replay here. And you see the lead currently for Mohamed Light with 30 seconds left. Minor Rocket can certainly do a lot. This dual lane push didn't get the win initially here. Does get one really key shot on the right-hand side. But when you look and see coming out of all this, it does keep some zappies on the board to support the next RG push on the left-hand lane. So while the Rocket takes the right-hand side, those zappies able to prevent the DPS of the raged-up Mega Minion from stopping the one RG shot come in. The Fireball gets in, the Minor gets caught, and Mo, playing Minor Rocket, but the cycle can't get around enough to get another rocket in. So in the end, really, really nice gameplay here. And that's one thing that I find really interesting, Jebas, as we go into our Jules, as we go into our next pick here. Yes, I know. I feel so bad. As we go into our next pick, Jules, is the dual lane RG push in triple elixir, not to get damage, but I mean you want to get damage obviously, but to set up the next RG push, the third RG behind all that.
And since he had a queen down during that whole time, he was able to get that third RG just a few seconds after the second RG died.
So here we go. Log pick number 1 for Mohamed Light. Lucas going NATO to, and you look at some of the cards on the board here. I don't see Miner anywhere. You see Loon.
Yeah.
You don't see Golden Knight. You don't see Hog Rider. So what's the NATO pick thought process here from Lucas?
I think NATO is just a really solid pick in this mode. He could be looking to synergize it with Bomber and Baby Dragon.
So Lucas gets some of his cycle. Mo takes care of spells early.
So I think we'll definitely see a Baby Dragon now. So a smart pick is to go Inferno Dragon first and then go with the Baby Dragon NATO combo to make sure he doesn't catch your Baby Dragon with an Inferno Dragon.
Bar Barrel here from Lucas. Mohamed Light. Log, E-Spirit, Fireball. No one's picked a champion yet. Yeah,
looking like Drill could be a really good pick. Only real good Drill counters on the board are Bomber and Ghost. And both are easily countered by Fireball or NATO alongside the Drill.
Goblin Hut, and that's going to help a lot with some of these air cards here. Maybe looking at what Lucas is doing and kind of reading that Baby Dragon play. It would be a weird. We haven't seen a lot of lava here.
Yeah,
but
the Baby Dragon.
Is Lucas possibly going towards lava?
Yeah, it could be possible. But I think we'll see Mohamed go with Flying Machine and Zappies now. Because Zappies being a great counter Flying Machine as well, and he already has the Fireball. So I'm not sure whether we'll end up seeing Lava, because I think Flying Machine Zappies will be an optimal pick for Mohamed here. And great hut pickup, knowing that there's no actual spell left on the board to counter it. Yep, there's the Flying Machine.
Yep.
And
Flying Machine really, really going to be difficult for Lucas here. He'll have to try to tank it a little bit, maybe get some light damage on the board. And there's the Zappies. So perfect call there, Jules.
And yeah, Monk's going to get a lot of great value against the Baby Dragon and the Bomber as well.
And now Lucas is trying to figure out what the heck he wants to do from here. Goes Golem.
Ooh. Yeah, Lucas not sure what he wants. I think Drill could have been nice there for Lucas. He's really going to struggle to break through with Golem without a Golden Knight against Zappies, Monk, and Hut. And I think Drill Bomber also being a very nice combo, and Drill Baby Dragon working too alongside Fire Spirit would have been the optimal pick in my opinion.
And here we go with another Rage, back-to-back games with Rage being picked between the two best players in the world.
It's RG from Mo, maybe? Yeah, there it is.
And there we go. So Royal Giant, he does have the Inferno Dragon response. Electro Spirit will help with some of those resets.
And Zappies too.
And Zappies too, yep.
So matchup looking to heavily favour Mo here. And I believe why Jeb is left is to help, well, someone mentioned it in chat, is to help Mohamed in this semi-final. So this could be why we're seeing a very nice second game pick here.
And a lot of the Portuguese viewers tell me to speak Portuguese. Well, let me just go ahead and learn it really quick. And I'll throw that on.
I know O meu Deus is oh my god. So if you see an interesting play, you can say O meu Deus.
Fair enough. For a 10 Brazilian real, say hello to my brother, Jacinto. Hello, how are you? I don't want to say anything inappropriate in another language, so hopefully I didn't.
Yeah, that definitely seems a little fishy.
Yeah, little suspect there. And the connection on the right-hand side with the flying machine will give Mo an early lead here. And I see a lot of laughs in the chat, so maybe I just fell for something. Well, I see Trollu, which probably translates to trolls. So looks like
Possibly,
I got.
yeah.
I shouldn't have fallen for it. I really shouldn't have fallen. I've been doing this long enough. I shouldn't have fallen for it. But
Wait,
well.
did you read out a name?
I only read half of it.
Okay.
So I realized halfway through that I shouldn't read out the rest of the name, and it was in Portuguese. So yeah, just there you go. Good question here from Mio saying, can I know why a tournament always pay level 11 King Tower? That's called tournament standard. It's been a thing where tournament standard is always at a different level. It used to be level 9 before the level cap got raised. Nice King Tower activation there for Lucas. Nice and easy. And now it's level 11 with the top power being level 14. It's just always been the way they do it for competitive play. It comes from the friendly battles are like that, and so are so's the. Oh, this is interesting. Golem will get on tower here. The Inferno Dragon does not. Oh, that was really nice for Mo as the monk runs away from the Inferno Dragon, gives the E-Spirit the reset here, and able to stop a little bit of that Golem play. And now RG in the opposite direction, Flying Machine behind. NATO pulls all that together. Good job against the Flying Machine, and will mitigate most of that RG damage. One shot gets through. 1384, the mark on the right-hand side.
Yeah, Luca's playing this really well, actually. Somehow with an elixir advantage going into overtime.
And let's see, give me 1 second here, folks. Golem in on that right-hand side, and this has been the whole fight here, really. All of it here on the right. Baby Dragon behind, Inferno Dragon not getting touched by anything, so Golemites on the tower here, and this is going to put this game very, very close, but there's one really big problem here, Jules. I mean, there are a lot of problems, but one really big one is no matter what, Lucas has to break through, and as we see right there, spells can get on tower for Mo, and they can't for Lucas, and this is looking like it's going to be going to a game number 3.
Well, yeah, he has Log, Fireball, and he has the Monk that he can play at the bridge and get guaranteed tower damage alongside reflecting the Bomber, the Bar Barrel, and the Baby Dragon. So it's still looking like a good position for Mohamed, unless Lucas can make something incredible happen.
Golem
Rage
in,
Witch.
Golemites behind. Bomber trying to see if it can maybe sneak past, and no, not able to sneak past the Monk. Gets the reflection in just in time. Very close here, though, 791 to 606. We are in triple elixir with 40 seconds left. Can he stop this RG from doing serious damage? I don't think he can. The Zappies do get on the Inferno Dragon,
nice,
and that's it. The Zappies were great. GG, well played. We're going to game number 3.
Yeah, very nice picks by Mohamed there. It's the Flying Machine Zappies combo, the Monk and the Hut. Oh, and also I love the graphic that we have on the left side here, that shows the decks they drafted.
Oh yeah, no, it's really nice work by the production squad all the way around to make a really wonderful layout and an informative one for all of us as we're going on through the gameplay. So I really appreciate that from everyone there working on their production. Let's go take a look at the final 30 or final minute or so here. This should have been the final 30 seconds. Let's go look at this is the final 30 seconds. So you see the Golemites break on through, and the Monk if that Monk got taken out just a half step earlier, we could have had a very different ending here. But instead, Monk stays alive, and now we go to game number 3. Mohamed Light and Lucas, who will go on, and it's Mo with the second pick here. Lucas taking NATO to open up. Miner is on the board. Mohamed Light loves playing Miner, and so Lucas going, hey, I know you're probably going to pick it. Let me take the NATO and make that a little bit harder for you.
Yeah, I think we'll see Log and Miner picked up from Mohamed, or maybe not Miner yet, because the only real spell he can combo it would be with Rocket, so he might want to wait before pulling the trigger on Miner. Yeah, there it is. He goes with Tesla first. Seeing there's a few air cards on the board, so wanting to get a solid defensive troop out the gate.
NATO Golden Knight, a really nice combination here for Lucas, and that makes some of the... I mean, there's not a ton of cards that I think that Mo wanted that really shreds, but one of those, which was the Spears, now certainly a more difficult conversation for Mo, despite having the log.
Yeah, so Lucas knowing he hasn't got log, so getting Golden Knight and NATO, stops Mohamed getting value from Princess, Spears, Witch, and cards like that.
So he still goes with the Spear Goblins anyway.
Because he's a filthy one-trick.
You heard it here. Jules, on the record, calling Mohamed Light a filthy one-trick.
So I think we'll end up seeing Minor Rocket here. Where we could also see Logbait Rocket, or some kind of Minor Loon Rage cycle deck from Mohamed. And Lucas probably leaning more towards Balloon as well. We could see a Cannon Cart, or we could see E-Giant as well. E-Giant Lightning, E-Giant being a great counter to Mighty Miner.
Heal Spirit is such a fascinating pick here.
Yeah.
We have not seen any ranged troops yet from Lucas. What do you think is the best pick here for the Brazilian?
I think possibly Cannon Cart. Cannon Cart will synergize well with Golden Knight NATO to form a push, and it's great against cards like Princess, Mighty Miner, and Spear Goblins.
And Mo showing bait as a possibility with log out. That does make the bar barrel. You don't expect to see Lucas miss many bar barrels, but it does make it a little bit more tricky. Yeah,
and Mohamed keeping his options open. He can go Miner or bait here. Lucas going Ram Rider.
Yeah, recruits Ram Rider is a nice little combination for Lucas. And we're going to go to Mo's last two picks here. Cannon Cart, and will it be the Goblin Barrel to make a full-on bait situation, or will
I think it will probably be Miner, seeing that Lucas has Golden Knight, NATO, and Bar Barrel.
And there you go. Miner is the pick. So now going to Lucas's last pick here.
I mean, I like the Ram Rider pick. Comboed with NATO and Heal Spirit. That's going to kill a Princess, kill minions, and kill Spear Goblins. Oh, and E-Giant.
And look at the look on Mo's face when he sees the E-Giant pick. Just like, ooh, something exciting.
Yeah, Lucas going for an Anaban-esque deck. I've seen Anaban snipe a few pros on top ladder using E-Giant plus Ram Rider. Especially Dominic.
And there you go. Miner picked up by the Golden Knight as our first two picks here. You know, the E-Giant's an interesting pick here. I guess maybe he's trying to hope in triple elixir. The Tesla is going to have trouble stopping both Ram Rider and the E-Giant.
Yeah. Well, yeah, an E-Giant plus Ram Rider plus NATO is just going to take everything off the board. So, I mean, if it was anyone else than Mo, I would give the matchup to Lucas. But I think right now it's looking pretty even. Hammer's going to abuse Princess, abuse minions, and Cannon Cart really well.
Bats take care of the Cannon Cart at the bridge, first minute away, and only a little chip so far. Pressure Spears on the right-hand side with Princess on the left-hand side. So early chip damage is one of the things that makes Mo a special player. People who talk about it a lot is that Mo is really good at getting little bits of damage in single elixir that end up being important later in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Early dual lane pressure, probably before a lot of people do put in dual lane pressure.
And Recruits was an interesting pick from Lucas. I guess, like, knowing there wasn't like a poison or a fireball to go alongside the miner, he feels comfortable just being able to continually cycle them in the back.
26.98 as we tick away the last 5 seconds into double elixir time. It is Lucas with the slight lead, but again, Mo with both lanes, and easy kite here on the Mighty Miner as the classic Miner goes to the right-hand lane with the minions behind it, and Lucas kind of forced to hedge there a bit. 50-50 on whether he needed that bar barrel and didn't want to end up giving a lot of damage to minions at this early stage in the game.
But yeah, like I was saying, Mohamed able to abuse minions really well alongside Miner, recognizing when Lucas has an awkward cycle to defend them. Like here, once again, with no E-Giant in cycle, minions are getting a lot of damage and causing him problems.
Princess as well. Mighty Miner goes to the opposite lane. That right-hand tower got completely shredded down to under 1,000 HP, but now here's a very big push. Golden Knight, Heal Spirit behind, Ram Rider as well, NATO's all that together. Golden Knight with a nice connection. Ram Rider gets picked up by the cannon cart instead of making it to the tower, but bats are on as well. And look at this. The pressure on, Princess down low, 1242, Tesla high to hold on to the Ram Rider, but Lucas right back in this one as we go into sudden death.
Yeah, and it's looking decent for Lucas now. He can now play into this Princess. With Tesla out, he's confident to go E-Giant at the bridge. Not sure about that NATO, might have been a bit early because now the E-Giant's going to target the cannon cart.
Golden Knight does pick up everything here, and that was a clutch Golden Knight for Lucas. 999 to 928, 90 seconds left. Nines everywhere here. Are you a conspiracy theorist? Well, tell me about all these nines. Recruits split 3 and 3, Miner to the front. Smart Miner by Mo, perfectly timing that against the recruits. Gets a nice 150 point lead on that right-hand lane.
And you can see Lucas shifting in his seat, knowing this is where he's going to really have to get some damage. Triple is 2 seconds away, so this is his big chance to take the win.
Heal Spirit in, Golden Knight behind all of this. A high Tesla, Mo doing a great job cycling back. Cannon cart does connect, then barely gets distracted. Nice Heal Spirit to fix that problem.
Yeah,
Lucas
really
having
nice.
to ignore that Miner just a little bit, and now has to deal with this Princess on the right-hand side as he's going in this big push. Bar barrel to do it. 37 seconds left. Mo doing a great job just pulling everything to the middle and not letting it connect. Wow. And what a great Mighty Miner ability. Can this Electro Giant do anything here? It's certainly feeling like that's not going to be the case. 25 seconds left. Miner to the right-hand side. Mighty Miner on the left-hand side. Needs to get past this Tesla. Does Lucas. 304. Now to be under 200 HP. That Miner did a whole lot of damage. Can the Ram Rider survive long enough to connect? It cannot, and that's going to be the end, folks. Great play here by Mohamed Light to take out Lucas and get the win.
Defense.
Brilliant, brilliant gameplay, brilliant defense by the defending world champion.
Yeah, and then as we talked about last time, Mohamed won one of our Mega Draft brackets. Giving Mohamed Miner is often a death sentence. Incredible gameplay, incredible defense, and you saw him just putting out miners at perfectly the right time, making it really awkward for Lucas to build up a push while preventing that 400-500 damage from the miner.
So here we go, Mohamed Light in a final, no big surprises here, and the question is, will it be Reuben or Ian trying to battle him for the championship, and which one of them has a better spot? It felt like Lucas was the guy to stop this from being, once again, Mo Light Esports. Instead, it's going to have to be Reuben or Ian.
Yeah, and I think Mohamed's definitely the favorite now. As we were saying before, Lucas was his main competition for #1 spot. But yeah, hopefully some unorthodox picks that we've seen from Reuben or Ian can take the crown, so we don't have to see Mohamed win again.
We'll find out in a few minutes whether it's going to be Reuben or Ian. For now, as you guys just saw on the screen for a second, new season starting and very, very soon here. If you can, use code RICH. I don't usually plug my code a whole lot, but there's a lot of you here. If you want to use code RICH in the Supercell shop to support the stream and support sort of the community esports stuff that we do here on the channel, that would be super, super cool. And a free way to help out would be to subscribe. We're now at 92,000 subscribers, and I see almost 10,000 of you, between 10 and 12,000 of you watching at the moment. So if all of you subbed, we'd hit 100,000 right now. So you know what? Sub! It's free!
Just sub!
And make up for all the Brazilians who are unsubbing because Lucas lost. And here we go. Reuben will get the first pick against Ian77. So Reuben and Ian going for our best of 3, and it's Reuben taking first pick. And of course, after that, it'll be loser gets the pick, the first pick after that. So let's see what happens. Who do you think has the better chance against Mohamed Light? Is it Reuben or is it Ian? You know, you think about the versatility of Reuben compared to the versatility of Ian, but Ian's like clearly grinding the game really hard right now, and there's definitely a question to how much Reuben's foot is on the gas these days.
Well, yeah, I think in terms of gameplay, especially cycle gameplay, Ian will have the edge, but in terms of unpredictability and deck variation, I think Reuben would be able to outdraft Mohamed more than Ian would.
So here we go. Flying Machine for Reuben, Poison and Log for Ian, and interesting pick here with the Firecracker. I know Poison isn't the best Firecracker counter, but why are you thinking Firecracker here?
I think you're just looking to abuse the fact there's no arrows on the board, but I mean, Poison is the second best counter to Firecracker after arrows. So I'm not quite sure, but it looks like he's and Monk as well for Ian. But yeah, it looks like he's trying to build up a spam deck and kind of a poison bait deck. So looking to bait out the spell and then abuse one of the cards that he has.
And people are saying it's Neymar's birthday in the chat. Well, happy birthday, Neymar. That one I know I'm not falling for some sort of weird trick. I am familiar with him. Jesus Vasquez asking which cards are banned, and the only banned card is the Elixir Pump because it appears in starting hands in this game mode. So it was chosen to be banned because it's not consistent with how the game is normally played.
So looking like could be a Ram Rider deck from Ruben. Hoggy Q's possible too, but I think Ram Rider is the most likely. And Ian once again going with Cycle, so I think we'll see him pick up probably Spear Goblins or Archers, knowing there isn't a good way to take them off the board for Ruben. And Inferno Dragon, very, very nice pick there.
And thank you, Sean Kiner, for reminding everybody. Subscribe to help the great streamer and also his new baby. That's right, Baby Boy Slayton #2 arriving in about 5 days. So if you want to subscribe to help the channel, use code RICH in the shop, all things, so I can, take care of my baby. Would be super awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and then, like I said, Ian picking up the Spear Goblins. They're really nice here, with EQ being the only way to take them off the board and that being a negative trade. And I think Inferno Dragon is going to get a lot of good value here. Good counter to Flying Machine, Giant Skelly, and there's not a good reset for Ruben. RG,
Well, Ruben loves Royal Giant. He's...
Yeah.
People have asked, where's Riley a lot? I'm just going to answer this really quickly. Riley, this is a small tournament, 16 people invited. I didn't do the invitations, but, there's a lot of people around the world, and we had 2 Americans, and Ian and Airsurfer. And Ian plays more competitive. Ian and Airsurfer both play more competitive than Riley does. So I didn't make the decisions, but that's my answer. That's from the best of my understanding.
I think Ruben's really going to struggle to break through here. RG EQ against no reset.
A Monk, a Bomb Tower, and an Inferno Dragon, and a Log? Why would that be trouble for Royal Giant?
And a Musketeer, literally every single card in this deck. Yeah, and obviously no Fisherman either to pull the Hog or the Monk. So the
Riley's
matchup
Canadian,
looking really favourable.
I am aware that Riley's Canadian, but I meant is the NA market. So I am aware. I see that in background that Riley is Canadian. I do remember that.
And yeah, somehow Ian being allowed to pick up Hog once again, and he's looking in a really good situation here. Very good matchup. Lots of good counters to Ruben's counters, and obviously playing Hog, his one-trick deck.
And there you go. Easy way to take care of a Flying Machine and get tower damage. Le Monk.
I would have liked to see maybe a Firecracker from Ruben there to activate his King Tower. Could have put him in a good spot for the rest of the game. But yeah, Monk is going to get a huge value against Firecracker, RG, Flying Machine, and Queen.
Giant Skelly in the front. Monk not in cycle for this one. Spears to distract the Archer Queen. She goes into her ability. She will take care of the Muskie and get 2 shots on tower. There you go, 2278.
So I wonder if after the nerf she would have got her first shot there. I'm not sure how significant it will be.
$15.09 on the left-hand tower of Reuben.
And Ian with a little smile there. Knowing Furnace isn't enough to counter his Hog, and he's a really good position going into double elixir.
And nice choice here by Reuben, deciding to go, hey, let's see if I can do something else in the opposite direction. Musketeer goes to the flying machine, not to the RG, so the sequencing, yeah, just not quite there for Reuben on that right-hand lane. That could have been more significant.
Very nice timed ability there. And the Hog timing is really good as well, so Ian most likely counting elixir, knowing when Reuben's going to go with a card in the back, and hogging at the exact time to force out another troop in front of the card he plays in the back, which isn't optimal for Reuben.
And solid poison here, winning the bridge fight as we go into sudden death overtime. The lead for Ian by about 800 HP, about to be made a bit more with this hog shot. And just like that, 1133 to 2278. So pretty significant lead here for Ian in game number 1. Firecracker going to go to the Monk, and that reflect here will keep it alive, take care of the Firecracker, and get tower damage.
Yes. Oh, wow.
And that's just insult to injury there, as that Monk decided to completely send that one back the other direction.
Yeah, and yeah, looking very good for Ian right now. Don't see Reuben breaking through at all now. Ian's going to be able to get a free card cycle going. At one point, he can just go Monk Hog at the bridge, and there's nothing Reuben can do about that. Yeah, and the Inferno Dragon get incredible value.
There you go. So some chip from the Firecracker not going to be enough. Furnace not going to come into play here. Hog gets a hit. GG, well played.
GG.
You just gave a whole lot of opportunity to Ian, and you know, if you're going to be like, hey, Ian, why don't you try Hog Rider, you better have a whole lot of stuff ready to counter that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, and Ian as well, recognizing when he's able to play his one trick, obviously knowing what all the best counters to Hog are, and there was no good counters at all on the board except for Bomb Tower.
And just look at the prize pool here. Top 8, all 8 players we saw today win $500. I believe there's going to be a third place match. I didn't know that, but since the prize pool is different between 4th and 3rd, I'm assuming we'll see a third place match between the loser of this one and Lucas. So Brazilians, come back. Maybe Lucas will win $1,500. And then second place gets $3,000, $7,500 to first place. So pretty solid prize pool here for this really wonderful community event. And we have a few more matches to go, of course. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2 here. Ian with the lead after losing game number 1. Reuben gets first pick and goes with the Archer Queen. We see no Lightning. We see no Monk. We see no Rocket. We see no Delivery. So a nice advantage here for Reuben in game 2.
And we'll probably have to see arrows from Ian. Yeah. So Ian forced to go with Fireball Arrows, which isn't really an optimal combo, especially for Ian being a cycle player. So very nice pick by Reuben, recognizing what spells are on the board.
And,
I really like that Mega Minion pick from Reuben too. Seeing that Ian picks up Fireball, which opens him up to taking Minions, Skelly Drags, and Flying Machine. So Reuben grabbing Mega Minion before Ian can do any of that.
And it looks like Reuben may be building towards a Hawk Rider deck. You know, you have AQ,
yeah.
You have Skelly, Giant Skelly.
Yeah. Yeah, and as the Flying Machine. So yeah, really, really smart pick by Reuben grabbing Mega Minion before Ian could grab Mega Minion and then go with all the flying cards.
Cannon Cart.
So looking like Graveyard or Pigs from Ian so far. Could also be RG.
And I was going to say maybe Graveyard could be a possibility for Reuben as well until you see those 2 picks, and that's leading us way more towards the Hog Rider. You know, looking at the building situation, And there's no Inferno Tower, no Inferno Dragon, no Mortar, no Mini P.E.K.K.A. I guess now that kind of makes RG less. I was gonna say RG could be a pick for Ruben, but that shuts it down.
Yeah, Cannon Cart and Mighty Miner are one of the best counters to RG, especially with no Fisherman on the board.
Tommaso asking, who is Ian talking to? Any ideas on your end, Jules? Who Ian's speaking with? And
I guess it could be Riley. I know Ian and Riley are pretty good friends. Or it could be one of his coaches, such as Winwheel or Adam.
Oh, there is Inferno Dragon. It was grayed out. It was grayed out when I said that.
I didn't want to contradict you, but
I missed it. And Abdullah Mahmood asking, what's the name of the other narrator who has English accent who is speaking with Rich? Want to sub to the English guy? He has good content. This is Julesy, one of the top coaches in the world, but I don't think Jules makes any content.
Well, you could count my Twitter as content. I sometimes make my own memes, or I scream at the Clash Royale developers when stuff doesn't go my way, if you can call that content.
If you can call that content, so here you go, linking that in the chat. There's Jules' Twitter. If you want to see strong opinions about things, Clash Royale related and beyond, or occasional memeing, go ahead, check out Jules on Twitter.
Thanks, Rich.
As always.
Okay, so no small spell from Reuben, opting to go with a better Pigs counter rather than having Snowball.
And this is interesting. I mean, Reuben playing,
sorry.
This is not that far off of a variation of a meta RG or a Hog Rider Giant Skeleton deck.
Yeah, it definitely has the elements of Ian's favorite deck. And right now, it's hard to tell who's the matchup is, to be honest. So Ruben ending up with more of a Hog beatdown deck, and Ian ending up with Recruits Piggies decks with Cannon Cart instead of Recruits.
Ghost cycled in the back. The Mighty Miner will take care of that fairly easily. Pressure with the Fire Spirit to the left-hand lane. And this is going to be Arrow's Fireball, or just going to go ahead and let the Mighty Miner do some work there. The bomb does not hit. A little mistime there from Ian.
Yeah.
And forced a Fireball onto it.
I think he's happy with that Fireball because Ruben ended up using the ability anyway. And he forced out a cannon opposite lane.
Hog down for Ruben. Bomb Tower picks up fairly easily.
So the key cards to watch here are going to be Cannon Cart and Mighty Miner. The only reset for Mighty Miner is Ice Spirit. So on defense, Cannon Cart and Mighty Miner are going to be really hard to get rid of.
EQ with the Royal Ghost does some good work on the right-hand side, and some people are theorizing maybe Ian is recording a video right now, which, not a bad idea. Hey, go and try to win a bunch of money and record your video at the same time. Two birds, one stone and all. And both guys deciding to go big on their pushes. Cannon not in cycle. What's the response from the pigs here for Ruben? Royal Ghost comes out, and Ruben's just in a heap of trouble. Going to eat tons of damage on the left-hand lane, and man, that whole exchange went very, very poorly for the Spaniard.
Yeah, so great elixir recognition by Ian, predicting when Ruben was about to play something for his flying machine and playing pigs at exactly the same time, so that Ruben was left with no elixir for the pigs.
Hog Rider in, going to get 3 shots. Those are pretty important here, and now the Giant Skeleton. The cannon does pull 1 pig. Going to give up a lot of damage, though. Needs to deal with this Cannon Cart on the right-hand side as well. Ice Spirit will do a decent enough job. AQ distracts up high and gets the flying machine. Ability turns on, the Fire Spirit down as well. Now Hog in, Bomb Tower is back in cycle, picks that up very easily. 10 seconds left, regulation time. Ian with a pretty significant lead here. Is Cannon back in cycle again to pull these up? And yes, it is. Arrows trying to clear some room. And this is a lot of pressure as Flying Machine connects on the right-hand side. Mighty Miner won't do much here. 4:02 is the mark. Arrows and Fireball should be able to close this thing out with some nice defense for Ian.
Well, yeah, and then as I was saying, Mighty Miner being the card to watch. Last defense, we saw it defend a Queen, a Ghost, and a Mega Minion. Then in this latest defense, we saw it defend a Ghost, a Giant Skelly, and then get 300 damage on the tower using its bomb.
A a lot in here, but of course the cannon cart will help shut down this Hog Rider push. Mega Minion won't get a swipe on the left-hand side, and with 80 seconds left, Ian goes ahead and cycles a fireball and puts this one fireball away from being all over.
Yeah, using his free card cycle, getting back to Fire Spirit. Now he needs one more card and he's back to Fireball.
And Hog Rider in, does not matter. Ian with a clean 2-0 guarantees himself $3,000 and now goes into our final against Mohamed Light. GG, well played for Ian.
Yeah, really great stuff by Ian. The Mighty Miner pick was the MVP there. Only Ice Spirit as a reset, no Log, no E-Spirit, no E-Wiz, so Mighty Miner getting a ton of value in that matchup and Ian taking the dub.
So I'm finding out right now if we're going to do a third place match or not. I know it looked like the prize pool did separate between first and third place, so I'm checking with the League Ops right now if there's going to be a third place match. Let me actually ping them so that they can give a response here. But we do have our finalists, Mohamed Light and Ian. And Mo, certainly the favorite here, but man, what a huge win it would be for Ian if he can win $7,500 and take out Mo in the finals of an event like this one.
Yeah, and it's, sorry, best of 3 or best of 5?
Oh, let me also double check that. I believe it's going to be a BO3, but oh yes, we're going to do a third place match. And let me ask, is finals BO3 or BO5?
And Mando Khalifa asks, Julesy height reveal. Well, I'm proud to announce that last year I finally hit 6 foot, so I can say I'm part of the 6 foot club.
Congratulations.
Huge achievement for me. Thank you. I'm so proud.
So here we go into
hard
our.
For this.
Yeah, it's. I didn't know you were still growing. Congratulations. I have, because of, like, you know, as you get older, the discs in your spine compress a little bit, and I have actually lost a little bit of height. So I have been removed from the 6 foot club due to my back. Yeah, I was in it my whole life. And then I went to the doctor and did the whole, like, getting my height check thing, and I've had 6 foot on my thing forever. And the nurse smirked at me. She was like, "No, you're not quite. You're about 5. You're just a little over, right around 5'11". And I was like, "All right, not a doctor. How about you shut up and just don't take away my 6 foot height from me?"
Okay, so if I just never go to the doctors, I can stay 6 foot my whole life.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Absolutely. So here we go. Third place match to decide $1,000 versus $1,500. And Reuben will get first pick in this one. Rogue Banana with saying Sadbra. Yeah, guys, don't grow up. And make sure you always lift with your legs, not with your back. Otherwise, you might take a full inch off your height over time. Cooler stream. Julesy stole Rich's 6 foot club badge. You know what? With shoes, I'm still 6 feet. All right. With shoes, I'm still 6 feet. No lifts, just regular shoes.
You know.
But man, yeah, that was a blow to my ego. One of the biggest ones I've ever taken. So here we go. Lucas and Ruben for third.
I think we'll see a log picked up by Lucas here, but maybe, yeah, knowing he doesn't need to go with log yet, because it's very, very unlikely that Ruben goes with arrows log combo. So Lucas happy to pick up the queen and save the log for a later pick.
That is a smart call on his part. Ruben's drafting has been all over the place today. I don't. Yeah,
and then we see third pick recruits. Just as you say that.
I mean, look, the recruit's not a bad pick against Fisherman and Queen, though, right? So
yeah,
you know,
yeah, I like it.
Unorthodox, maybe, but not the worst pick in that situation.
And also, the best counters on the board to recruits remaining are like Princess, Witch, Bomber, and Firecracker, and he has poison arrows for all of those.
So the question is, which direction is Ruben going to go from a win condition perspective? Goes Firecracker here, so takes off one of the responses to his recruits.
Yeah. I'd like to see Cannon Cart or Sparky from Ruben. Both of them will get really good value against the current troops that Lucas has on the board, and against RG.
Skeleton King, very interesting choice here. Drill maybe from Reuben for a win condition.
Yeah, I'd love to see like Skarmy or guards alongside a drill and a cannon cut. And EQ for Lucas, making sure he can finish off the firecracker and she doesn't get incredible value.
And that's interesting, right? You don't often think about like, hey, I need to have, you think about firecracker counters, and you're looking at the board and you're going, the likelihood that Reuben picks one of these buildings is small, so you don't really think of EQ as the choice, but then log EQ for the firecracker, so very smart.
Yeah. Okay, and going with RG, it's been interesting to see what Lucas picks up. I like that pick from Reuben, making sure Lucas can't get RG, and now Lucas is in a very difficult position. You can see him scratching his head.
Yeah, what does Lucas do here?
I mean, we could just see a Skelly Barrel, since there's no minions or Mega Minion or building on Reuben's side.
And just goes
Upscove Giant. Yeah. So I think Sparky or Cannon Cart could be really nice from Reuben here.
And what's the choice for Reuben?
Mini P.E.K.K.A possible too.
And Mini P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah,
does go Mini P.E.K.K.A, so a little more single target DPS for that Giant.
And that Giant Skelly as well.
Skelly too, yeah.
And since there's no Swarm cards on the board for Lucas, he's going to really struggle to do a Mini P.E.K.K.A. So great pick by Reuben.
And it's a quick congratulations to Clutch Gaming for going from 8th grade to 9th grade, from 410 to 5-4. Hey there, watch your head on those door frames, bud. 3-3 split with the recruits. And
yeah, so I'd give this matchup to Reuben right now. Mini P.E.K.K.A with the Giant and the Giant Skelly, obviously no Swarm for Lucas, and having Bomber and Firecracker were great picks from Reuben, because Lucas is going to be forced to spend 5 elixir to kill either of them every time.
And the RG pick you see the synergy there with the Firecracker, obviously for Royal Giant, not worried about activating King Tower really at all. Happy for it. And you put Lucas in such an awkward position. So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
part of that math of trying to be good at these mega draft duels or mega draft battles.
Yeah.
It's just figuring out when do you pull the trigger on certain picks.
I mean, I really think this draft is the smartest. Reuben's draft is the smartest draft we've seen so far. Taking RG off the board for Lucas, grabbing Bomber and Firecracker after taking Poison Arrows, and then grabbing the Mini P.E.K.K.A and Recruits. Really smart stuff by Reuben. I'll be really impressed if Lucas can win this.
Just want to call out in the background of Reuben, you see some of his accolades. You see the Orange Cups champion. As you know, before Reuben turned 16, he was just dominating the semi-pro circuit over in Spain, and Queso was just waiting, chomping at the bit for Reuben to turn 16 so he could come to the RL squad. And then on the other side, we talk about things in the background. The Dead Safio live event that we had a few months ago. You see Lucas with the trophy for that in the background. So both guys sporting some of their accolades in their setups. Recruits pick up the giant skeleton on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
EQ not cycle, though. He just
So
used it,
Firecracker's going to get a lot of value here.
Exactly. Although Hunter might be able to finish it off, and it does.
Yeah. But yeah, forcing out another EQ, so he's back to another Firecracker. The Queen might clean her up. No, Fisherman comes in.
And Reuben goes recruits. Needs to get a little bit further back around, and there he goes, gets the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Wanted to make sure the Mini P.E.K.K.A wasn't pulled off that Giant, and that's, there's the smart part there. Yeah, well, that's the smart part I was talking about that Lucas did do, was he recognized, hey, I do have the ability to pull some stuff away from this Giant, so not totally flawed reasoning here. Royal Giant, though, going to do a lot of damage.
And Bomber getting a ton of value alongside the Poison.
And Fisherman not available for this Mini P.E.K.K.A here. Giant, though, may get a shot, and it... Did that touch?
Yeah.
10:43, yes, it did, just barely. now a 4-2 split for the recruits. As we go to triple elixir here, this is really interesting. I mean, the damage lead right now for Reuben. What does Lucas do to win here in triple?
Well, I think if he can get a giant behind the giant skelly and then get a nice fisherman to pull the mini P.E.K.K.A, and he's in a really good situation.
And there you go. Can he pull the mini P.E.K.K.A off in time? Giant does get a hit. That is a massive hit here.
Wow.
5:11 remaining. And literally, as Jules is describing what has to happen, Lucas makes it go down. But can Lucas stop the RG? The log pushes back. Poison ticking, 343, 315 on the left-hand side, under 40 seconds left. EQ cycle. Will the firecracker come out? Now the EQ's gone. Yes, it does. Poison opposite direction here for Reuben. Arrow's now down as well. 120 remaining. I believe that's going to tick enough to finish that one off. And GG, Reuben takes game number 1.
Very well played by Reuben. I was a bit worried at the end there. I didn't know how much poison arrows did, but that's why Reuben's the pro and I'm not.
Yep, absolute the pro indeed. Let's go ahead. Let me queue up the replay for that one. Guys, commentator, producer, replay operator, sunglass wearer. I'm just doing all the things here today. And these are the ice creams for those of you who are curious. I'll show them to the camera a bit later. And here we go. This is the play you were talking about. You described this precisely of what Lucas needed to do to make this more competitive. He needed to go ahead and get a nice push. The firecracker comes down. He's going to log EQ the firecracker off. And then he needed to get a fisherman behind the mini P.E.K.K.A, or a fisherman to pull the mini P.E.K.K.A, and it does. But made it close, not quite enough. And of course, I realize we are now back into the draft. Let's go ahead and jump in. Lucas picking log. Reuben going fireball Phoenix to start things off.
I like that pick from Reuben, possibly going for a Mother Witch deck. And again, Lucas going with his favorite combo we've seen him use so far, Goblins plus Log. And there's not even a bar barrel arrows on the board, so Goblins are almost guaranteed to get good value here.
Does he go gang 2 just to double down on this?
Not yet, because there's a Golden Knight on the board, a Bomber, and a Mother Witch. So I think we'll wait to see what he's able to pick up first. And then he could double down towards the end.
Mother Witch is a nice pick here for Reuben with no phenomenal spell for it. Does Lucas go Rocket here or Lightning here for a big spell?
I mean, I guess it looks like it should be Lightning right now. But then if we see Reuben pick up like Barbs or something like that, then it could be really problematic for Lucas. But Lucas under no pressure to take a spell since Reuben's already chosen his big spell.
So we'll take some time. Lucas will take some time and decide what he wants to do there. Reuben goes Furnace. And it's interesting, like, you talk about, Reuben certainly has the ability to play Cycle, but he's one of those players who does seem to thrive in that mid-weight range for deck building.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Same as what we saw from Mini Minter.
Exactly. Mortar now is the pick number 6 for Lucas.
So I think we'll definitely see a Rocket alongside this. Lightning not very nice with Mineral Mortar. And could see a Ram Rider from Reuben.
Night Witch.
Oh, I like the Night Witch pick actually. It's very nice. There's no poison, no fireball, no E-Spirit, no Mother Witch for Lucas. And it's going to be a really good counter to Inferno Dragon and Monk because there's no ranged there.
And
E-Golem.
Okay, that's a choice a person made.
This is the first non-auto pick E-Golem we've seen in Mega Draft competitive history.
Yeah, I played against E-Golem when I was doing the Mega Draft Challenge today, and I laughed. I laughed a lot.
Lightning instead of... I definitely think Rocket should have been the pick there. It's really nice to stop him stacking troops behind an E-Golem. But maybe Lucas looking to be able to pressure, so he's not able to get a big push going. But the matchup looking favourable for Reuben right now. I really like the Night Witch and the Furnace pick from him.
And Bats will do a little bit here on the Inferno Dragon. So will the Fire Spirits as well. Mother Witch cycled way in the back here. And that Mortar just shooting at not quite nothing, but almost.
I think the cards to watch here for Lucas will be Goblins and Mortar. Ruben's answers to Mortar are not very good. And Goblins are going to force out a Fireball from Reuben unless he wants them to get infinite value.
First minute away, chip damage for Reuben, nothing so far for Lucas. And we're kind of seeing a rinse and repeat of the previous situation as the Inferno Dragon runs into a Mother Witch and a Furnace, and then a Mortar comes down to go for the Furnace, and Mother Witch gets cycled in the back. So the first minute of gameplay almost precisely repeated. Did the Mortar retarget the tower this time? And it did.
Yes, it did.
Not quite down early enough was the Dark Prince.
So yes, that's what I was saying. Mortar being one of the key cards to watch is going to get a lot of value in this matchup. But on Ruben's side, Night Witch, especially the Bats, is going to be the card to watch in this matchup. There's really nothing at all that Lucas has for Bats. So if Ruben's able to get a big Night Witch push starting in the back, and he can get 5, 6, 7, 8 Bats down, Lucas is really going to struggle to deal with it.
And now Furnace played a lot lower this time. Talk to me about the Furnace being placed lower this time as opposed to the slightly higher placement he had before.
Just exactly what we see there, so the defensive Mortar can't snipe it.
There you go. And now we do see the first big pink pile of goo. Eagle and Night Witch to the left-hand side.
And yeah, he's going to want to get a Dark Prince down to block the lightning. Dark Prince is great against lightning because it takes the full brunt of the damage, but it only takes a small percentage against the shield.
And there we go. Fire Spirit, Mother Witch trying to get the Inferno Dragon off the board on the right-hand side. Doesn't quite do it at first. Now one gets turned into a pig there at the end. Phoenix working on the Miner, and here we go. Eagle in front of Night Witch right at the bridge this time. Lightning to take the Night Witch out. Bats. Where are the Bats? Did I miss something?
I don't know, but somehow the tower targeted both Bats. So.
Oh, must have changed right when the Eagle split, like turned into. There you go. Yeah. But now look at this. Birdfest on the right-hand side, harkening back to a few months ago. Monk, though, with the Goblins behind it. Dark Prince to take care of that business. Monk pushes the Dark Prince away and gets on tower. So nice situation there for Lucas, but Reuben getting damage, pretty good damage on the right-hand side, 1745, as we are in the final 90 seconds of gameplay.
And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see the Monk post-balance changes. I did the maths, because I'm a nerd, the other day, and its DPS will actually be higher than Lumberjack's DPS after the buff.
For the Monk?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be very strong. I think it's a super underrated card. Maybe I'm just biased because it's really good in draft. But I definitely think we'll see the Monk we played a lot, especially with Archers being very strong
Mother Witch
next season.
Look at that Mother Witch on the left-hand side. And these E-Golems, there's not, you think like, hey, E-Golem just feeds, but then look at where the Royal Ghost is having to go. It's not getting on stuff fast enough. E-Golem pile up on the right-hand side. Reuben running right downhill. Lucas in a whole lot of trouble
this is
here.
over. And the Bat's getting so much value, the Phoenix getting so much value. Reuben doing a really good job to get some anti-lightning cards in his deck. And recognizing there was no Night Witch and not any good Mother Witch and Phoenix answers.
And there you go. Lucas will leave with $1,000 in fourth place. Reuben adds $500 to that for $1,500 and a third place finish here at the AMG Cup Mega Draft Edition. So very nicely done for Reuben. I'm sure he's super happy to be walking away with the scratch. And taking a look at the bracket one more time because we do have our final coming up. Mohamed Light versus Ian here in just a couple of minutes.
And Reuben showing us the first ever Eagle and Mega Draft pick. And a win with it.
And a win with it. Hey, and Jebas has returned. Welcome back.
You guys were talking and I didn't want to say anything, but I joined. And the first thing I see is an Golem push. That's something.
Yeah, 2 Night Witches, 2 Golems, 3 Phoenixes.
And,
Ruben showing everyone why I said loves crazy decks.
Ruben likes to get it, guys. Speaking of getting it, if you guys want to get these ones, these I'm gonna have to switch glasses here for the championship. These are the ice creams from Gooder. Of course, you know Gooder, my good friends. These ones have little ice cream cones on them, pretty rad. But now it's time for the championship glasses. We got gold. Gold for the final.
Wow, look at that
Thank you.
swag.
Rich,
Yeah.
do you remember what
That's
I told you before the tournament started today?
So, what does it be, Ian and Mo?
Yeah, we get to see it.
Here we go.
Wait, did you call Ian and Mo?
I said, Rich said, who do you think has a better chance on the right side to deal with Mo? And I said Ian.
Oh,
Because I don't know if you remember, Julesy, but there's a few players that I have in my mind that always gets Mo a bit nervous or not so comfortable, and Ian is one of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that because I remember Mo always beating Ian in the Hog Mirror in CRL.
I feel like it's because he also plays a lot of cycle decks, so they both know what each one is thinking. Maybe could be that.
Who's ready for this one? Mohamed Light better be, because he's going to be picking first here. Very excited. And before this kicks off here at the end, if you haven't, use code RICH at the shop this week. It'd be super helpful with Baby Boy Slayton 2 coming here in a few days. If you're going to buy the Pass Royale for next season, throw RICH into the shop before you do it. And if you don't use my code, use somebody's code. Support a content creator. It's a great thing Supercell does. And one more big thanks, of course, to AMG and for Supercell for making today's event happen. Let's go ahead and jump in to our draft. Let's go. It is a best of 3, guys, not a best of 5. I do wish it was a BO5 here for the final. But BO3 is still great between these two great players, and I am thoroughly surprised to see Mohamed Light picking Log as the first pick.
Well, yeah, and I think he's happy to stop Ian getting Log as well. Ian being a cycle player and Log being a staple of cycle decks. He wants to make sure he can't get that. I think Golden Knight's also going to be a very nice pick if Mohamed can pick it up alongside Log. Then it opens him up to play stuff like Spear Goblins, Witch, Goblin Gang, etc. But Ian picking up Golden Knight, knowing that Mohamed takes the best Swarm counter, so him wanting to have his own to counter the Swarm.
No NATO here. Golden Knight still will be fine.
Rich, can I just want to give a shout out to Alan. He's been helping Ian. They've been doing some amazing picks as well.
Oh, cool. And
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying earlier,
Yeah.
did not know that he was doing that, working with him today. Very, very nice. And it's interesting. So, I mean, like, you guys from a coaching perspective, the big question, will, of course, is always going to be this game mode with the allowed to have coaches in your ear when you're having the conversation. But you guys both being coaches and that being your big thing in Clash Royale, what do you think about the coaches' relationship with this game mode, especially now with that context of Alan helping Ian with these picks?
Jibbers?
Do you want me to answer first, Jules?
Sure. Yes, please.
Yeah.
I feel like on this game mode, I'm gonna say this, and Josie will not agree, but I don't think you need a coach. What you need is a friend on call that can help you. For example, today I can tell you because they already played. Vitor and Lucas were in call. They discussed all their deck picks together. For example, on most case, I think he's alone because he told me, "Oh, I think I can do this alone." And on Ian's case, he has Alan, but Alan is also a big friend of his. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I think what it needs is just a different type of coach to what we are. I mean, it doesn't require prep or like predicting your opponents much, and I think if this does go mainstream, we'll see.
there could be
Well, yeah, we'll see us go jobless, and we'll see a new era of coaches come into the scene.
CRL will continue to be dual mode, especially for I don't know what that Ian was got kind of. Did you see like kind of the expression there from Ian? He was kind of like forceful there. Wonder what that was about. Obviously, CRL this year is going to be in dual mode the whole way through, so you guys are safe for your jobs for at least one more year.
Yeah.
But guys, if you're enjoying this, tell Supercell you're loving this game mode and want this to stick around because it's meant to be done after this weekend, and we're really trying to petition them to keep this in the game as a friendly battle mode. Maybe do some more things with it in the future, but I have some potential. If we can keep this game mode in the game, there are some big plans for Mega Draft in the long-term future. So tell Supercell you love it.
And I think we definitely see Goblin Gang, Bowler, or Scummy here from Mohamed. Not really any way to deal with the Swarm on Ian's side except for Witch and Golden Knight. And Bowler would be a great knockback for the Ram Rider.
Bowler.
There it is.
Mohamed playing a Mohamed deck right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his favorite deck has always been minor wall breakers with Tesla and double small spell. Whenever I didn't know what to play in CRL 2021, I'd just give it to him and he would win any matchup.
Reminds me of old school Igor with Mortar Minor back in the day.
Yeah.
That was Mean Worlds with Igor.
Yeah.
That was that match between Igor and at the time Dandelion at Worlds and that King of the Hill was something else.
Yeah. Was that when he was playing Minor Poison against Lava?
No, it was Igor played Mortar Minor. I don't remember what Dandelion played, but it was like a pretty strong counter to Mortar Minor, and Igor was like, so, and anyway, and Dandelion just could not believe it.
Yeah, so matchup looking pretty good for Mohamed right now. Bowler, solid counter to Witch and Ram Rider. He has Zap for the Bats, Logs, another reset to Ram Rider. And obviously Mighty Miner being Mighty Miner, Mohamed being Mohamed. I'm sure he can make some plays happen.
Ram Rider to the right, Bowler not in cycle, doesn't matter. Tesla, as just stated, picks up nicely. Fisherman has to be played in a kind of a funky spot just to stop the bird. And a couple extra minor shots will get in because of the tankage by the egg. So Mo is doing a great job spreading everything thin, and Ian has to give props there. He just kind of knows that Mo sequenced all of that perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ian's only real chance of breaking through is going to be a surprise lightning on a Bowler or a Mighty Miner, or a very interesting Golden Knight connection, which I know Jebbers is not a fan of.
Yeah. I feel like Ian on the second game he needs to pick more confident cards. I don't think these types of cards this is the way against him.
Yeah, but adjust your mic, please, Jebba. Just
sorry.
Hold it with your hand the whole time.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry.
We want to hear what you're saying. You got good insight.
Oh, sorry. I said for the next game, I think Ian should play more cyclish cards and decks because I don't think this is its comfort. And I guess Mohamed and the other big players, you just gotta play your best cards. You don't have much else.
Yeah. It was really nice.
Sorry.
Oh, I was saying it was really nice from Mohamed, knowing that Ian's really hard to stop with these kind of decks, so he picked up Log, Log first card to make sure Ian can't get a proper cycle deck going.
And Bowler has been fairly impactful here, and you see, just making that even harder for Ian on that side. Ian leaking a lot of elixir right now. I mean, that's a ton. And yeah, he's not happy about any of what just happened. And it's crazy because that right-hand tower for Ian is down to half health. This on paper isn't, it's 90 seconds left. There's time to do something. But just all of the answers on the defensive side, and then Ian just really struggling to find what he can do defensively as well. Yeah.
The only way really he's going to break through is to get a Golden Knight Lightning combo. But yeah, Mohamed having Log and Zap for the Fishermen and the Bats offensively, we just saw there.
Yep.
It's really hard for Ian to defend.
And so let's see, can this Witch plus do anything? Minor wall breakers to the right-hand side. Ian has to stop that or lose everything. He does stop it temporarily. Ram Rider has a chance to kind of sneak through here a little bit, but the log plus the
bowler sniping it.
My word.
He has log, he has Zap, and he has mighty minor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of things all at once. Final 30 seconds. Miner picked up by the witch.
Everything just lining up perfect for Mo here. He'll get the bomb.
And some people saying Ian may have lagged, and it's very possible that Ian lagged there a bit. Let's be honest, though. That game was over.
Yeah, agreed.
Lag or not.
Before it started.
And, yeah. Players are responsible for their own connections in a remote environment, so, you know. And here we go. Game number 2. Ian will have first pick in this game, so that's a good advantage for him in game number 2, but now he has to win 2 in a row against Mo if he wants this championship.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did Mo also get the first pick versus Lucas? Or you don't remember?
I don't remember.
I feel like he always gets the first pick as well. That's small luck.
Yeah, well, someone's got to pick first, and that's why I like best of 5. I mean, obviously we all like best of 5 better in general because more games means more accurate results. But especially in this game mode, yeah, I mean best of 7. That Morton Mo BO7, super fun. If you want to see, see more of both these guys, there's a Morton Mohamed Light best of 7 on the channel. There's an Ian and Riley best of 7 also in Mega Draft mode on the channel. So go ahead, check it out. Stick around.
I think Mohamed's going to want to pick up a monk here. Ian going with Fireball, indicating he's looking at a Dark Goblin, Flying Machine, Rascals deck. So monk could be a really nice pick for Mo, especially to stop Ian countering his cannon cut. Going with Dark Goblin, interesting. So Ian should definitely pick monk here. Yep, there it is. And I guess we'll see. Yeah. But he knows that Mohamed's not going to take Flying Machine. So he's better off taking small spells and other Cycle Cloud / mini tanks first, and then taking Flying Machine later.
For sure. I think for sure Mo is going to pick Skeleton King, right? His deck is looking like a Skeleton King deck.
Yeah, definitely.
And notice that there's only one elixir card on the board, and that's the Heal Spirit. So not a lot of great cycle options here.
Yeah, not many good answers to bats on the board either, especially with Heal Spirit out. So bat's going to get good value for Mo unless Ian picks up a nice golem.
That would keep the cycle down here. Ian does go with Flying Machine. Does he go double Big Spell?
Ooh. I mean, if he would go Nado for the bats. But I think he's happy just going.
Would be a bit weird, I think.
Yeah.
We saw it work earlier today.
Yeah, but here on this situation, I don't think.
But I think Nado could be a really nice pick for Ian there. Just to get the Dark Goblin in, get the bats in, and in combo with Barbarrow and Fireball, it works really well. Then he could go with like a Ram Rider deck, an RG, or a Balloon alongside that.
Mo is being smart, he's saving the Skeleton King pick because he knows Ian can't choose it, so he's just picking it card right now.
So Mini P.E.K.K.A, I like that, predicting a Ram Rider or an RG pick.
And those are the two optimum picks here on the side of Ian, who goes Rascals.
Okay.
That was a good pick.
Yeah, maybe just wanting a decent answer to Mini P.E.K.K.A alongside Zappies, since there's no Swarm cards on the board. And Drill. Oh, I like Drill. There's no Barbrow, no Log, no arrows.
Does Mo getting splashy here?
Possibly a Bomber, or a Dark Prince. But if he goes Dark Prince, his cycle could be really awkward. Oh, Mega Knight. That's nice.
Mini P.E.K.K.A Mega Knight, if you were someone who played a lot of Clash Royale between 4K and 5K trophies, this is a major nightmare for you.
I could see Ram Rider as a final pick for Mo.
Yeah.
Or Bandit. Yeah. He's comfortable with the pressure he already has, and he's just looking for another decent drill pickup.
Interesting. How often have you seen Mo play no win
Pekka.
condition?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's happy that Ian has quite a heavy deck, and he can pressure with Mini Pekka, Bandit, and Hill Spirit.
Pekka, though, there's no swarm cards at all. So you talk about responding to Mega Knights, responding to cannon cards, dealing with the Bandit is taken care of elsewhere.
Yeah.
Pekka's a really interesting choice here.
Yeah, I like it to counter the Mega Knight, the Bandit, and the cannon cart. It's a good answer to all of those.
And so we'll see, does Mama Pekka come out here? No, goes Go ahead.
Sorry, well, I mean, because and you just think if Ian just plays a Pekka in the back, there isn't much Mohamed can do. I mean, if he plays a Bandit into it, a Mega Knight into it, a Cannon Cut into it, they will just get shredded.
And that's an unfortunate cannon cart there for Ian that takes that right-hand tower down to 1356. And Ian focusing on offense maybe a little bit too much here.
Yeah,
Mohamed was also very smart because he didn't have any elixir, so he just went Ill Spirit on the bar barrel, and he knew that the cannon cart would lock on the tower.
Yeah, he predicted he only had enough elixir for bar barrel, so he waited to pull the trigger on the E-Spirit.
Exactly.
Very nicely done all the way. Mo turning everything into an advantage.
Yeah,
exactly.
It feels like Mo could bring a knife to a gunfight and be fine.
I feel like him and Ruben are the players that do that the most.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember coaching Mohamed in CRL, and someone will cycle a log at the bridge, and he's like, "Oh yes, GG."
Bandit to the right-hand lane, and you see Ian playing a lot more circumspect, and the Bandit connects. Ian not happy with that one.
I wonder if that's lag again, or just lack of judgment.
I think he misplaced.
Yeah.
Flying Machine will get poisoned off. Wants Mama Pekka to get all the way to that cannon cart, and it will. But the Bandit pressure. You know, this Bandit's proving to be such an interesting pick here for Mo.
Yeah.
It's such little elixir to create so much pressure.
Yeah, yeah. And it's always going to force out a negative trade for Ian.
And now we get Mama Pekka in the back on the right-hand side. We'll take care of the Mega Knight. Heal Spirit does not save the Dark Goblin at the bridge.
So this looks pretty good for Ian here. Let's see what he can make happen.
So full drill push on the left-hand side. Pekka will take care of the cannon cart. I think does take care of the cannon cart. Fireball in. Heal Spirit won't do much, and that's going to be some pretty good damage there. Mo has to kind of regroup a little bit here.
I think we might just see another Pekka in the back, or Zappy split in the back. Yeah.
And
Pekka's going to get a lot of value every time here for Ian. We saw it kill a Dark Goblin, a Cannon Cart, and a Mega Knight just there.
And this is really smart for Mo because he's forcing Pekka to not play into that right-hand lane here. Something for the Bandit here from Ian does pick up bats, though.
The bats.
The bats are being tanked for by
GG.
Wow, GG, well played. And once again, what is this game called? Mo Royale? Mohamed Light taking down yet another championship. I don't care what game mode. Are we doing triple elixir? Are we doing infinite elixir? Are we doing
touchdown?
Yeah, touchdown. It's the unstoppable reign of Mohamed Light continues.
Yeah,
I would like to
really
see a touchdown tournament, actually. Maybe they have a chance there.
Yeah, maybe a 2v2 tournament that you get assigned a random opponent.
You know, something I would love to see is a 2v2 tournament with players and their coaches. So like Mohamed and Jebbers, me and Morton.
Me and Mo would win though. So.
Nah, me and Morton wouldn't have you. We have that chemistry.
And there you go. There's the final standings with Reuben taking third place and $1,500. Ian with a solid $3,000, but could not overcome the man who's made the game his own. Mohamed Light, another championship, $7,500, and let's talk about this for a second. If you ever wanted a validation that this is a wonderfully balanced, truly competitive game mode, what else could do that other than Mohamed Light winning a championship?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a very deserved top 3. Smart picks all day from each of the players. But like I was saying before, Mohamed's experience, especially with Jebbers, and his gameplay was just on another level today.
Absolutely another level. Just this game mode is so much fun. Jebbers, you were here yesterday. You've been participating a fair bit. Yeah, you were here. Last weekend. You've participated in this a fair bit. I know you've been kind of circumspect about this game mode. Final thoughts after seeing the best in the world playing in this competition.
I really like this game mode, and like I told you, you're forced to not play your comfort decks, like for example Ian did in the finals, and I think it's very good as well to see what the players can bring to the table besides their one tricks, sort of.
Yeah.
And
but also sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead, finish your thought, Jebbers.
And I think the better player, or let's say smartest player, or the one that picked better will win most of the time. Yeah.
And we definitely saw that. Jules, we've been doing this all month. First of all, again, also thanks for waking up in the middle of the night to come and be a part of this today.
No worries, it's a pleasure.
Vietnam. We've been doing this all month. This feels like a really wonderful kind of cap to the month here. What are your thoughts on this this game mode, on what this month has been like as we kind of wrap things up with Mega Draft, hopefully just for now?
Well, it's been really enjoyable, really refreshing. It's been lovely to see. Well, we never saw the same deck repeated the whole time, which is a first in Clash Royale competitive history.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see more competitions like this during 2023. So the good thing is that CRL is going to be organised once again, not by the community. So now there's more space for community-run tournaments. So hopefully we'll see the majority of those be Mega Draft.
Yeah, we'll talk more about some potential plans for Mega Draft here on the channel, because I love it. It's not going anywhere. Tell Supercell you love this game mode, everybody who's watching, so that they keep it in the game, because this has been one of the most fun months in quite a while overall for the game. Absolutely enjoyed it. For everyone watching, that's it for today. I hope you've had a great time this weekend with the AMG Cup, the Mega Draft Edition. If you haven't yet, one more reminder, tomorrow it's a brand new season. Try out Code Rich if you haven't tried it out before. Would really love your support. It's a great way, if you're already going to buy something in the Supercell shop, to support a content creator. If you don't use my code, use somebody's code. Support a content creator when you do make a purchase. And of course, if you're still watching, you haven't subbed yet, today we started at 90,000 today, and we are now at 92,610. So the road to 100K continues moving along with you guys being a big part of that. Thank you very much. That's it. You guys are beautiful. Mwah. As always, be excellent to each other. Peace. And I didn't have my thanks for watching button ready to go, but you know what? You guys get it. Here we go.